Right, everyone, welcome to the Thursday night DM and Friends. Oh, I almost forgot. I almost squirreled it, guys. We got to start out with our song. I mean, we have to. All right, I know all you guys love this. We're gonna have a great show tonight, and wait for the explosion at the end. All right, we got some people piling in here. Good to see you all. And then here's the rest. All right, everybody. The chat's starting to fill up. I see Valmar Cleaver here, Irish Viking, Sebastian Expander, Freezer is here too. All right, you guys, thanks all for joining. So tonight, this is our Thursday night's live stream with the DM and Friends. I am DM Angelo. If this is your first time tuning in, and tonight I'm really excited because I've been trying to link up with, and it's not his fault at all. It's been a lot of my faults messing up scheduling, but we have the one and only Bill Barsh here from Pacesetter Games. So thanks for coming on, dude.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here, and I'm glad we're able to get this going. And I know it's don't take all that hate on yourself. I know it's me sometimes too. I get crazy. So
yeah, life, man. Life is work and projects and stuff, and So thanks, dude, for coming on. It's kind of late in your neck of the woods right now. So
yeah, and I'm sorry it's so dark. It doesn't feel that dark in my office, but I really
no, you're good
so far. So I got to get this figured out. I noticed that we did this old dungeon last night, the podcast I'm on, and we don't do video. We're on video, but we don't actually record video. And I noticed it was super dark in here.
Because, you're good, dude. You're good.
It's only 9 o'clock here. I'm Eastern time, so it's
yeah. We're loose here. There's going to be no editing. There's no polishing, and we just do it what we do. And so yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on. I think the last time I saw you was at Page. You guys had that big giant corner end cap booth, and you were. Yeah, how did you? How was your experience at Page? You have a good time?
I did have a good time. It was a second year in a row. It was a little bit rough because we went the first year. Ron approached us and he was launching his convention, and he came to us and he said, "Hey, what do you guys think about coming to Page? Bringing Pacesetter and all that." And we're like, "Sure, let's get." We like to do conventions. We support as many as we can. And it was a flyer. We had no idea what kind of convention he was going to have. If we were going to, my son and Ben comes with me to these things.
Ben,
got to have the help. And we were like, oh my God, are we going to sit in a couple of chairs staring at each other all weekend, or are there going to be people there? You just didn't know, but it wound up really well. It did really well.
Great.
We were excited. It's good for us because we don't have any East Coast presence. We don't go to any East Coast conventions. We never really have. So. Not for any other reason. It's just nothing's ever kind of worked the way we need it to. So we had we did well, and then we've been back to the last 2 years. So that was Page 3. Unfortunately, Ben has got sick, like deathly sick with the flu the last 2 years. So he missed last year and the year before, or I should say last year, this year in January. And so that's why I was there by myself, which can get a little busy and a little rough, but it's Ron does puts together a good convention, and there's so many the vendors are all good people, right? And it's like always coming over, hey Bill, do you need lunch, and can we spell you for a few minutes, whatever. It's just it's fantastic. I see people are posting things too, and I'll try to get back to the questions people are asking.
I've got a little bit of background. I don't know if you hear that. It might be. Just
I don't hear anything. So
you don't. Okay, everybody. It sound good. Everybody over here. So thanks for everybody that's on the chat. I definitely will encourage you guys to ask Bill questions.
100%.
Talk about his. The things that you've picked up from Pacesetter. You've ran it. That kind of stuff. We definitely want to. Double click and dive into a lot of the cool stuff that he's done is doing, has done over the years, all of it. So, and I know some of you guys out there have dived into some of the Pacesetter adventures that he's put out. So Freezer, Shellback View, good to see you. OJ Flynn, evening, you say. How you doing, man? How you doing? Bill Valimar Clear says, Bill, I enjoy your expansions to old TSR modules. Yeah, it's funny.
I appreciate that. We have fun with those. That's our fun projects. Yeah, there you go.
Expansions. It's funny. I picked this up from you a couple years back, and I've actually used the one for I think it's T0.5, the cursed Karen of the Moat House. So I've actually ran that and
cool.
Put it into my campaign. And this is pretty cool. I think that's what she's probably talking, or he's probably talking about. Advanced Fantasy Games is here. Another big name for the DM and Friends. What's up, friends? Hey, how you doing, DM Greg? Valimar says, Angela, I enjoy your new series on how to start a new campaign. Thanks, man. That's really cool. Yeah, that series is really taking off. I still have 6 more videos in the series, and
great idea.
Super fun. Super fun.
Great idea.
The last video I did, I literally did like 25 takes. I was just like couldn't get out the words, and so I don't know. And then the one I liked, Bill, I didn't do audio with it, and I was so pissed.
Oh no! Well, believe me, on this old dungeon, which I'm one of the co-hosts, we have forgot to record. We've literally done it because we don't do them live; they're just recorded. And we've literally done a 2-hour show, and then we're like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Oh man, that is such a bummer. It's like it's crushing. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, Sebastian, this is such a treat. He says, I'll put that up here for you. Yeah, it is. It's a real treat to have Bill here for sure. Brass Monkeys in the house. All right, Shellback View. Oh, Dreg. I got a question from Dreg. He says, let's start out with this one. Question: where does the name Pacesetter come from? Yeah, tell us, dude.
That's an easy one. So we've been around now. This is we're in year 17, believe it or not, for Pacesetter.
Yeah,
games.
You've been around for a minute, for sure.
Yeah. So we started up in 2008, put our first products out in 2009. In October will be 18 years, which is exciting. But it's kind of an homage to the original Pacesetter Ltd. that did Chill, Time Master, those games. I was friends with a lot of those guys back in the day, Mark Akers. And they were only around for like 3 years. Pacesetter was really short life as a company.
Sure.
Almost 4 years before they went out. And I just love the way they did things. I love their I was with Task Force Games at the time. So but it was still a small community. You see each other at Origins and Gen Con and things like that back in the day. And we're talking back in by the way, for reference, we're talking about the 80s here. So when the original Pacesetter Ltd was active. And I just love the way they did things. And I love their approach. It was a company that was kind of very pulp forward too. The way their products mirror kind of the way we do our products and our whole aesthetic. So that's how I named Pacesetter originally. But we're Pacesetter Games and Simulation. So different name. We're not the same company. We tell everyone we are not the original Pacesetter company. That brand, everything that they had got sold off. It's spread out all over, guys now. So even the game Chill is owned by, I think, a guy in Canada. You'll never see that. It'll never come. It really will never come back. Not in the original form. But we've kind of made a couple attempts to claw some of it back. We'll see how it goes. But that's where it comes from. Pretty straightforward. But again, we've been around now for we're going to be celebrating 18 years in October. So.
Wow, that's awesome. That's super awesome. And I think the official name is Pacesetter and Simulations, right?
Pacesetter Games and Simulations.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah.
There's kind of a riff on SPI also because Simulations Publications.
Yeah. Were you ever a SPI fan?
Yeah. I won't turn the thing, but I got a whole wall full of SPI.
Oh, I do too over here. I'm not going to turn it either because I'll screw something up.
That's what I'll do.
Back here, I got a whole bunch of Avalon Hill SPI games. I wish I had somebody to, being out here Montana, back when I was in LA, I was able to, anyways, it's a little, yeah, I love that stuff. I mean, you can nerd out.
Oh yeah, that was me and my friend's gateway to gaming was outdoor survival and Starship Troopers.
I have 2 copies of Starship Troopers.
Yeah, it was the first, and that was in 1976. So I'm dating myself. It's a long time ago. So that's how we learned. That's got us kind of into gaming. Eventually, we, we're just, I grew up in Michigan, Southeast Michigan, so we're just like everybody else. Our only availability of this stuff in the 70s was we had a train and model store, down, in our town or city. And every once in a great while, they would get something in, and that's just how we stumbled upon it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, someone said Chill. They run that Get game. Chill is an amazing game. We're going to have an announcement about that in probably another year, but we're still a ways off.
Oh man, dude, that's super cool. Yeah, Chill was a pretty awesome game.
It's an awesome game. It's people could want to compare it to Call of Cthulhu all the time. It's not a Call of Cthulhu game. It's completely different. It's Scooby-Doo horror essentially, but it's all right. It's all good.
Kind of weird horror, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Mayfair version is very different, so I want to be clear. So
got it. We got a bunch of questions that come in, and I do want to give shout outs to people that are jumping on because
for sure,
what I do, and I love that. Paul Catrone, good to see you, man. Thanks for jumping on. I do see your guys' questions. I've flagged them all. I've learned my lesson to try to keep an eye on this. I do want to bring this up. Advanced Fantasy Games, you do bring up a question, and I want to give a shout out to everyone. We did just break 3,000 the other day, 3,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for that. The milestone came very quick, and I'm super excited about that. And also, as part of this show, I want to also give a shout out to all the members that have taken the plunge to become members here too. So, our lords, superheroes, and heroes. And Bill, I'll tell you about the levels here because you can see the names, the titles on there. But I want to thank you guys for becoming a member of the channel, and your support is much appreciated. So you guys, thank you so much. Before I forget, I did want to give those shout outs there. Yeah, Bill, do you see that? I have the heroes, superheroes, and lords.
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell for you?
It does. Those the fighter class name levels, right?
Yep. You got fourth level as a hero, a superhero, and I think that comes right out of. I think that came out right out of Chainmail too, right? The heroes and superheroes. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, a couple questions here. So, Freezer's asking, I think this goes for you. Do you prefer group or solo games? I don't know if that's for if he's asking everybody or not. By the way, you guys asked Bill some questions.
I can answer it if you want. I'll assume first. We do both actually. So we started doing mostly group play adventures, but we do a lot of solo adventures at Pacesetter. I mean, I would have to guess we're one of the largest producers of especially old school or classic D&D solo adventures.
Yeah.
We do quite a few. In fact, we have a new one coming out at North Texas actually in 2 weeks. So,
and I think you sent me a copy of the.
I think I pushed the cover over to you. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do you want me to throw that up there? Let me.
Sure. That way, I think it's Bridge to Adventure is the one. But we have people love our. I mean, I don't put it that way. We have a large people who support us that really want solo adventures. So we do quite a few.
And that's an interesting thing because there's not a lot of people that do that.
I can tell you why.
There's got to be a market for that. Like somebody like me.
There's definitely a market, and I can tell you right now, it's because it's there it is.
Yeah.
And that is for someone who's never played a solo adventure before. It's kind of an easier walk. You roll up a first level character and then you're off to the races. And you can use it with any classic D&D. We put BX on the cover, but basically, if anything from Holmes through the black box versions of D&D.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean AD&D, you could even.
Yeah, and then our new upcoming Dungeon X system will work with it too. But and I say that because we're the kind of the opposite of like what a lot of like the rage now today is minimalistic, adventure design where people just are putting bullet points in and there's really no stat blocks and that kind of thing. We're the exact opposite. We do.
Yeah, no.
We are the exact opposite. If you look at it, if anyone out there sees any of our products, we include full stat blocks with everything under the sun.
Yeah.
We do read aloud text. We do then the GM description and then full stat blocks. Yeah, that's gonna be a good example of it.
Well, you have the box text. I mean, for instance, in the T's 0.5, you have the box text for the bridge, then you have the GM's description, and then you have well, that's probably a bad example because let's say 3A current in the barrel, you have the box text, the GM's description, then you have the monster stats. I mean, it's perfect. But it's descriptive, but it's not overwhelming because there are some modules out there that, and especially, and I've seen a big pattern, in I don't know about most recent, but maybe a couple of years back where they were just, each room was a page, 2 pages.
Yeah, and that's
like,
too much.
Yeah, and that's me. I get, I'm out.
Right. I mean, we do try to be concise, because things need to move along. But like one of the main philosophies of Pacesetter Games is simply if we're giving you an adventure to run and you're purchasing it, if we haven't made your job easier as a GM or DM, then we failed. And that's kind of how we always look at our products. That we're never going to take that minimalistic view because you shouldn't have to be turning to your rule books every 5 minutes to look up what how long if a ghoul paralyzes you, how long you paralyze. All that's always in our thing.
Well, if you run in a module, I mean, let's say at a con, like, because that's if you're home at a campaign or you're a con, you don't want. I mean, you want to be able to technically run it without even looking in the rule book.
Without yes, yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like, unless you have like what the stats of something are memorized, which some of us do.
Of course,
especially when you're introducing something unique. I mean, if it's not there, I mean, that's I think that's kind of a fail. You know what I mean?
But like I said, we do it for everything, and that's just we won't ever change. Just how we do it. Someone asked how we can get these. It's just pacesettergames.com. It's real easy to find everything of this on there.
Yeah, and I'll have that link in this. As a matter of fact, it is in the show notes, guys. But I'll put it in Pacesetter Games.
.com.
Super easy. I'll put that in the chat right now, guys.
Hello, Matt Sherman. So there's
good old Matt. Oh yeah, let me give some shout outs to some people that are coming on here. Mark the Shark, dude. Yes, good to see you, buddy. Matthew Sherwin, he's we'll see him at North Texas. Irish Viking. So a couple other I flagged here. Pat Catrone asks, he says he hopes that you talk about your campaign compendium releasing at North Texas.
Oh, the Holmes stuff, right? I think he's asking about
That's
Holmes.
what he's referring to. Yeah.
We're not releasing one this year at Texas. So that's a whole big conversation. So I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but
dude, this is your time. You tell me.
So for everyone out there that doesn't know that about us, that Chris Holmes, who is John Holmes' son, John Holmes, who wrote the original basic rules for basic Dungeons and Dragons. So if the Holmes set, the blue rule book, everyone kind of knows.
I've showed it up here a million times. I don't know where it's at, but yes. Pull it up, dude.
TV. So we'll just pull one up.
There he is. Yep.
The guy who wrote this.
His son's at North Texas every year.
Yes, his son Chris Holmes comes to North Texas every year. He came to us about 4 years ago now, and said, "Hey, I've got a bunch of maps and notes from my dad. It's a dungeon that he ran us through way back in the day, and would you guys be interested in doing something with this?" Right? After I picked myself up off the floor. We were like, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big fan of Holmes, right?
I mean, that's my gateway. In fact, the set I just showed you, this is the set I bought in 1977. So,
wow, what a treasure, man! Because a lot of us don't have our original stuff we got.
I don't have everything, but I do still have that. My first player's handbook. But anyway, so we were really excited. So we started working with him. He sent us some maps and some notes, and it turns out it's John wrote a novel called Maze of Peril, and it is basically a bunch of D&D characters go down into a dungeon and just go dungeoning. It is the coolest inside baseball book you'll ever read. It's more of a novelette. It's probably like 180 pages. It's fast read, but it's so fun. It's like you're reading people playing D&D. It's really cool. And that's the actual dungeon that they sent us. The dungeon from the novel. It's called Maze of Peril dungeon, basically.
Got it.
We put it together. We named it. We couldn't name it Maze of Peril because, again, their novel art exists with that name. So we just called it Things Better Left Alone. And that's a reference to the last line in the sample dungeon. And I know I'm getting into the weeds here. The last line in the sample dungeon in the Holmes rule book, it says to leave things better left alone. If you want to do further adventures, you should do this, or,
Sure. Yeah.
So we called it Things Better Left Alone. And it's a pretty big dungeon. It's 100 and some rooms, 113, 114 rooms.
Wow. That was a mega dungeon, basically.
It's pretty much a mega dungeon. We did that like 3 years ago now. Released it at Texas, and it was very well received, and it did great, and people were really excited about it. And I think when Chris saw that and saw how we treated, I think, his dad's material, plus we included in the actual book, we included all his original maps and all his original notes in the back, so you could play it. Yeah, because awesome. It needed, by the way, a lot of, to make it publishable, it needed a lot of work. But we included all that in the original, or in Things Better Left Alone. And I think, at that point, Chris came to us after, I think at that convention or during the summer, and said, hey, I found a bunch more stuff. And it wound up being his dad's all his home campaign stuff. So his dad ran basically an island hopping kind of campaign. So Port Town is his major, that's his version of Greyhawk. It's this kind of thing. It's the central location. It's on the coast, and you got all these islands. And he's got maps of all these islands. They're not that detailed. And then notes on what's on the island and that kind of thing. So we started going down that path, and we put out 2 books, Islands of Peril 1 and 2, which is about 35% of the content of what they sent us. So, and at that point, we also decided that this past year that we're going to stop going that route. We've always kind of had plans of doing a giant crowdfunding thing with this.
Sure.
We just decided to stop right now, and we're going to move into that. So that's what we're going to be launching.
Kind of waiting on that.
We're going to wait probably till end of June, July is when that's going to go off.
Okay, so after North Texas, yeah. And Chris is totally on board with that, and all.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Chris actually does illustrations for us.
Dude, that is so cool, man.
He's
carrying on his dad's legacy of the.
Yes. That's a great. Holmes thing got me into D&D, so it's just this is, I couldn't be happier when doing this project. It's just an absolute blast. Chris is actually running at North Texas. He's running Islands of Peril, so he's running. I don't know which adventure out of the book he's running, but he is running some. So
one of the many probably.
yeah, he's running one of the islands, I think. So but it's been great, and like I said, to be able to touch that kind of property for us is super exciting. I mean, and if the question we asked was, why did he come to you guys? We're not the biggest publisher in the world. We're not small either, but we're not kind of in the middle. But he, I think he did because we also have the We Warriors product line, which is Palace of the Vampire Queen, Dwarven Glory, Misty Isles, that kind of thing. Which older. And I think he saw how we treated that and how we do things.
No brainer.
And he asked around, and I think it worked out great. So we couldn't be happier. So we got that's another massive project because this year is the 50th anniversary of Palace of the Vampire Queen. So, which also puts your history thing on it. It is the first D&D module ever printed for the game. So it ever produced in 1976. So we are going to be doing something very, very big for that in the fall. So
we'll definitely have to get you on the show again. For that.
That's a whole other topic of conversation.
Whole nother level.
yeah, that's a whole other thing. It's huge. So, but we are running some of that at Texas this year. We're kind of running an intro adventure to that whole thing. So,
oh wow,
which is going to be fun. That's actually the tournament this year in Texas.
Yeah,
Tower of the Vampire Queen. Yeah,
yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Rourke, good to see you. Good to see you. I before we get buried in some of these comments, there's one I wanted to bring up from DM Greg from Advanced Fantasy Games. He says, question for Bill: how many writers do you have use, and do you write all your own material? Where do you get your inspiration?
Oh God. So I'll start at the beginning. We have used other writers for some of our projects. We don't do it a lot. We mostly keep it in-house.
Yeah.
But we have done a couple of projects with other writers. Most of it is written by me, and then my son Ben also is pretty prolific. He writes especially a lot of solo stuff.
Yeah.
He wrote one of our best sellers ever called Into the Unknown, which is first through for classic D&D. It's like 1st to 7th or 8th level campaign. It's a massive book, and it's one of our largest Kickstarters ever, and we sell out of that thing every time we go to a convention. So, but he does a lot, and then I do the rest mostly. But we have cartographers. Keelan Howerson does almost all of our stuff, known as the Wonky. He's just phenomenal talent. We have a whole bunch. We have a pretty good slew of illustrators. Most of these guys have been with us. If they haven't been with us since day one, they've been with us at least 6, 8, 10 years. So we kind of stick with people in the Pacesetter family, and we have editors and all that kind of thing too. So that we use. So we Silverwing behind you. But so I mean, like I said, we're not a large company. We're not obviously we're nothing like a Paizo or a Cabal Press or anything like that, or we're not like Goodman, any of that level. But when you drop down to the next level, which is honestly a pretty big drop for people in our industry, we're probably in that next tier with, the Frog God Games, same size as us. There's actually not very many in our tier. And then you go down, there's a lot of smaller, one-man shop kind of guys.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we're at. So, which is, it took us a long time to get there, honestly. But that's just, just grind it out and you keep working and working and working. And that's kind of what we do. But plus I just retired a year and a half ago. So this was not my full-time job at all.
Yeah. Well, now that you're retired, man. Yeah.
Now I've got time. Yeah.
Now you got time. Yeah.
Now we got time. We're kind of like, we're definitely feeding that furnace and getting the flame stoked up.
Yeah. D Hickey, I see you jumping on. Thanks for jumping on. You talk about North Texas. You guys have done stuff for North Texas, I think, every year. You've been going, I think, since the beginning. I'm going to throw it out there.
Yeah, I'm one of the original attendees. So I attended the very first one. And I never missed one after that. I'm very fortunate, very blessed. Don't get me.
I talk about North Texas on here because at all the cons that I go to or have gone to, it's literally my favorite con, and I don't miss every year unless I'm sick or I can't.
Yeah. I tell everyone, I don't know how once you go to one, it will become your favorite con ever. And if you can only go to one, go to North Texas, and that advice would be for me. If I could only go to one con a year, there's this. First of all, it's like our home for us, for Patriot, it's our home convention, essentially. I mean, we release new products here every year. Every year you got something that's made for the con. Yeah. We always have a convention exclusive for sure. But then we also we'll hold on to stuff and release it that weekend and
release it there.
It's just like I said, it's an amazing convention. It's not even, it's more like a family reunion, honestly. But and I always say that too. And it's funny you say it. And there's so many people that say it's like a family reunion. Yeah, it's such a great vibe. There's it's the perfect venue for the perfect size of a con. The dealer room is literally exactly what you need. You know what I mean? The games, the old school games that are there. If you're a drinker, the bar at night is great. The food there, all the food trucks. I mean, the fact that you could be at a table and somebody bring you your food is amazing. I mean, it's just super it's next
cool.
level. It just is. And I mean, and that's not. I'm not knocking any other convention, but North Texas.
Oh no, that's not the point. Yeah,
it's just a different place. but yeah, we run the D&D tournament there. We've been doing that since the third North Texas RPG Con. So we're on year 15 now at the D&D tournament, which I'm pretty sure makes us the longest consecutive still running D&D tournament in the country. There might be another one out there somewhere I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure that's where we're at, which is kind of cool to think about.
Yeah, every year you guys, there's some tournament there, which is...
We run a D&D tournament every single year. Yeah, and it's we get, at this point we're up to like 7 or 8 groups of players and
DMs, and
goes for like, we have different GMs too. I'm not doing all of them. I used to do 3 or 4, but just by myself, and it's just I've kind of backed off that a little bit. But we have
that's tough, dude.
Yeah. But we have our own boardroom there, so all the tournaments get run in the boardroom, so you don't have all the noise around you. You're off on your own. But I think we're on the 14th floor again this year.
That's cool.
So the room's kind of we deck the room out with posters and stuff and theme it all out, and it's a lot of fun. And we we announced the winners on Saturday at the auction and everything, and then we put a poster up, which you can see behind me. Last year's the one with the drone looking like dragon thing. That was last year's tournament.
Got it.
Savagery Silverwing. And we always do try to twist things up, by the way. I mean, we have a lot of fun with it. And by the way, this tournament, when it goes live, the thing sells out in like 3 minutes. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's tough to get into it for sure.
It's tough. But yeah,
so who out of the real quick, Bill, I just wanted to ask because a lot of people here usually are going to. I just want to give a let us know who in the chat's going to North Texas.
Oh yeah, for sure. And absolutely come see me at the booth or somewhere and say hello. I'm running around like an idiot most of the time, but we'd love to see you. And my son Ben is there. Keelan's going to be there. Halverson is also there. So you get to see the kind of the core of the North Texas staff, which is fun, or the Pacesetter staff at North Texas.
Speaking of your son, Ben, I think if I'm not mistaken, he's in one of my Boot Hill games. And I'm trying to.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I can look while we're talking. But you mentioned you're running a lot of games. I limit myself to 2 because you know what I mean. I'm usually running around like just talking to everybody. This, that, and I limit myself to 2 games. So this year I'm running 2. Every year I run Boot Hill, so I actually stepped it up, I guess, in my own thought that I'm doing 2 Boot Hill scenarios and games. So that's super cool. I love North Texas, man.
I think I'm actually running 3 rounds of the tournament this year, which is going 2 last year.
Yeah.
I'm doing 3, and then I do my annual Barsh Saturday night game, which I've been doing since the second North Texas RPG Con, and we are doing it's the final. It's not really a play test. We're just kind of having a fun of our Gamma X game. So which we've been produced and it's been in production now, just about done. So we're just kind of playing through it, which would be a lot of fun. That Saturday night before the Satan's Midnight Auction. So we're busy. Can't wait. Super excited.
So from the crowd, it looks like Mark the Shark. Yes, you are going to be there. And Matthew Sherman is going to be there too.
Yep.
Wouldn't miss it. Ben is pretty okay too, he says. That's awesome.
He keeps Pacesetter running. I'm gonna tell you right now. He is the magic.
I bet.
He's the magic behind the machine. So yeah.
And you guys will have a booth too, right? I think like
we have a
every year you do. Yeah. Oh, and Blair Blur is going to be going too. Awesome. Yes. And welcome Blair Blur 4566. By the way, everybody, this is going to be her maiden voyage.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So Blair, you're gonna have to go up and say hi to one of the celebrities of North Texas that's on with me right now, Bill Barsh.
What's my favorite non-D&D system? You already want to be in for a shock? Champions.
Yes, I think I've heard you say that before. Yeah,
Second, it's definitely first through third editions are my absolute favorite. I think it is a brilliant game. I love character design, building your superhero. People say it's mathy. I don't care. I don't think whatever. But the combat system is just absolutely so smooth and beautiful. I don't. I just Champions is just, and I'm not a giant comic book guy. I mean, I enjoy my comic. I bought a comic book for everything. Back in the day, I was a comic book guy, but man, just Champions it's by far the best superhero RPG ever created. I don't think anything's even close.
Yeah.
It's just a brilliant system, and man, like I said, character design, the way you build your superhero is like nothing else that in any other superhero game. So just fantastic. It was Champions was owned by Hero Games.
Yeah.
And later got, I think, absorbed by Iron Crown. Yeah. And there's actually, I think Champions is on like the 7th edition right now. I'm not sure.
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. But I definitely prefer the like 2nd, 3rd edition for sure is my go-to.
Yeah. I had.
I haven't played in years, by the way. It's been decades.
I haven't played in years. Yeah. Buster TN 2014. Good to see you on there. He says, "Love Champions." Freezer said, "Well, let me go back to here. Let me go back a little bit. Yeah. So Blair says that she's gonna be the girl in the shirt that says, 'Hi, I'm Blair.'" Okay, awesome. Freezer says Champions never heard of, and Buster and TN 2014 says love Champions. D Hickey says you can do anything in Champions. Bella Muerte Champions 2E second system. I tried, it was fun. By the way, Bella, welcome to DM and Friends. Let me see. Freezer, if you want a comic book experience, there was that one superhero video game, Freedom Force, super fun, cool. Buster says played that in the early 80s and 90s. Yes. Agile Monk is here. Apologies for being late. Oh, you're I don't know. What's the right word term to say that? Welcome, and don't ever apologize for being late. You're fashionably late right now. Drake says, "Yo, Agile." Everybody's let me see. Mark the Shark, Agile. Another long day of bureaucracy of the worst kind. I can imagine, Agile. I can imagine. Don't do well. Okay. Blair says, "I am spectrum worthy and don't do well." So that's why you're going to have your name on the shirt. I like that. That's really good. That solves a lot of problems.
Just Blair, just understand when you get to this convention, it's going to be unlike anything you've ever experienced before as far as a game convention goes. Everyone there is amazingly friendly. And,
oh my God.
And it's just, it's just such a great experience. And, everyone's incredibly approachable. A lot of the old TSR guys are there. Alan Hammock, I think Dave Cook, I'm pretty sure Dave's coming. Just all the old guys there, and honestly, you can sit down and talk to any of them, and they will talk to you like they've known you your whole life. They're fantastic. So it's just a great group and a great bunch of special guests they have.
Yeah, you're gonna have a great time there. It's such a great group of people, man. It really, really is. There's just so much. Yeah. It's just filled with good people. It really, really is. It's one of those cons.
Yeah.
Valimar Cleaver says, "I have both Freedom Force game. It was sold on GOG, which I know is that.
I'm not a bunch of electronic gamers, so I'm not.
Yeah. Hey, Agile. Lorca, someone got me hooked on Darklands. Turned out my brother has played it 10 times. Agile, you are pardoned and you can do no wrong here. Of course, you cannot do any wrong here. You can not. Yes. Is that the right way to say it? Freezer is asking a question. I don't know if this is for you. It says, "What's your favorite superhero or power?" I don't know if he's talking about in Champions or the video game.
Well, obviously in Champions you kind of make your own, so you don't. You're not playing like the Marvel superheroes role playing game or DC where you're playing one of their heroes. But I think it's got to be Amazing Spider-Man. And look, I haven't read anything from Amazing Spider-Man in 25 years, so everything my whole point of reference is the 70s through the probably the late 80s, whatever. Peter Parker, the Amazing Spider-Man, that time frame was just that was my number one favorite thing, and I love the Defenders. Oddly enough, as I thought was it. I have the whole run, the complete Defenders run. Nighthawk, I think, was a great character. So you see the kind of characters I like, kind of like not an anti-hero necessarily, but the Batman kind of hero. So cool powers, wants to help people, but has got to always there's even normal things are obstructions, and that's awesome. So
I was a big
challenge is what it's all about. So
I was a big collector of Detective Comics. I was a big DC person. So
I was a Marvel guy. So yeah.
Let me see here. Another thing you mentioned Champions, which is pretty funny because last week Jim Wampler was on here and he was saying during college he played so much Champions, and that was we had a discussion about that, and he was talking about. But that's super.
Yeah,
super cool.
I've talked to Jim about Champions before too. He's definitely a Champions guy.
Yeah. Did you? So you started in Holmes, and then kind of like what other games did you play? I mean, obviously you mentioned SPI stuff and war games.
So we our heyday, like role playing games, was pretty much we stuck with D&D for the most part as a group. I had a pretty large group. We had like 8 or 9 guys in our gaming group back through like middle school all the way through college, essentially. And we're still we still talk to this very day, 60 years. Like we met each other like in kindergarten, right? So, so D&D was our big game. We played a ton of Starfleet battles, but for years, every Sunday we played Starfleet. Starfleet battles take like 3 years. We played this entire, basically, it's called the General War, which you fight out this whole giant war, which would take you 3 years. But we did it. And that was a huge game for us. Champions was our other big game. And then we dabbled. We played some Gamma World, first/second edition Top Secret. We played kind of a bunch of that, actually. So, but we didn't play a whole lot of other, like outside of that. As far as RPGs, those were kind of our big ones. But we played Micro Armor. One of my friends had a big Santia one.
Yes. Okay.
The old GHQ miniatures and CNC and tanks. So World War II was our go-to thing. So we played a bunch of that. So we were a little bit all over the place. But D&D was far and away. We played that more than anything else. But we would take breaks and run into those kind of things. So we were definitely a mix, right? So we were RPGers, but we also played putting up board games. Divine Right, oh my God, we played that all the time. So that's kind of the inside look at what my
what your gaming career early on was.
And then with Starfleet battles, that got me kind of connected with task force games. I also used to we had a group of mission called the Metro Detroit Gamers, and they ran WinterCon and MishiCon. So those back in the day, those were, especially MishiCon was probably like the 4th or biggest convention in the country back then. In the
awesome.
80s. We ran Origins twice for them in Michigan, and so I was really involved with them running game conventions. So through that, I kind of made connections with the guys at Task Force Games, and because I love Starfleet battles. And I wound up doing a lot of editing work for them. But I didn't work specifically on Starfleet battles. I wrote a lot of scenarios for it, but mostly my work was in the Pocket Games product line. So I did a lot of editing on their Pocket Games. So if you're familiar with Task Force Games, Pocket Games, look them up. They're a blast. I'm not saying that because I had a hand in them in a small way.
Yeah.
But that's where I did most of my work with task force as an editor. So
That's awesome.
then it was all, it was crazy because this is pre-internet, right? I mean, obvious without saying. So they would literally send me a big, thick manila envelope with a dummy copy of this game, and I would have to edit and play it and work the bugs out, send it back by mail, and they'd send it back to me again. Then I would send it back to them. It was quite an interesting process. I wish I had a bunch of that stuff, but most of it had to get sent back, so I never got to see it after I got done writing it all up or writing on it. So,
let me give a little shout out to let me see, I lost it. Deadly DM. I haven't seen you on here. Welcome to the show, man. He says, I hope everyone gets to roll some dice this weekend. Cheers, dude. I hope all you guys get to play some games out there this weekend. Let me see, Steven, I saw you jump on here. Steven Clements, some weird reason. I was going to say some weird reason it blocked your chat you put in there, but I see you on, man. Thanks for jumping on. Good to see you, buddy. Because Matt says, "What's up, Sharon?" Steven. Agile Monk, thank you so much. He says, in honor of our esteemed guest, Mr. Bill Barsh. It's a long time since I've seen you. And thank you so much for the super chat, dude. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And Bill Barsh is here, guys. Pacesetter Games. We're just talking, just talking. Yeah.
Oh, I see someone mentioning Ogre. Yeah, Ogre is one of the that's one of the granddaddies of pocket games. Now that was done by Metagaming. A whole line of them, and I'm also a collector, so I have a lot of stuff. So one of my collections are pocket games / micro games. I have a whole shelf up there full of them. So I don't have everything, but I have a lot for sure. So Ogre's just fan. We played Ogre back in the day. I mean, God, it's so funny to think back in the 70s how many different games we actually did play. Especially, because you go to game conventions and pick all that stuff up. That's how we got our stuff, honestly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. D Hickey says Ogre pocket game. Yeah, it's funny, this last Historicon. I don't know if you've ever been to Historicon, Bill, but
I have not.
It's the big, you know what it is. It's the big.
I know what it is. Yeah.
Man, I played in Joe Block's Ogre game, and man, that's such a fun game. I haven't played it. I didn't play it in. I don't even know how many. I can't even count that high how long it's been. And
did you play Ogre?
A lot of fun. Yeah, Ogre. Yeah.
Oh my God!
He had all everything kind of laid out, and really.
Did he have the Kickstarter one, the box that's the size of a suitcase?
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
That thing's crazy. Yeah.
It was really fun. He put a good scenario there. I got my butt kicked.
It's such a fun game.
Really early on. But so much fun.
I have not played a game Ogre in 30 years at least.
Let me see here. So Advanced Fantasy Games says, Bill, we just purchased Kiswick's and While the Sun Sleeps from your sites. Looking forward to seeing your work up close. All the best.
Kizzywinks was written by my son Ben, and that's a kind of a quick solo adventure. And then While the Sun Sleeps was a North Texas tournament event. It was a tournament event. We publish all of those too. So,
wow.
So While the Sun Sleeps is a tournament adventure, and that one has a pretty unique. It's not a spoiler. Basically, all the PCs start with pretty much nothing. They got drunk in a bar the night before, and they put all their stuff on a ship because they're leaving town. Whatever. And they heard there's this awesome tavern on the other side of town. So it's one of those towns where you're really not supposed to carry swords and stuff around. So they just stored all the stuff on their ship. They go to this tavern, and they were all overserved, and they wake up the next morning or right before sun's coming up, and they're like, "Oh my God, our ship sails at 8 a.m. or whatever," and they're now on the wrong side of the city, and with none of their equipment, and they got to make their way across the city in the dark at 4 a.m.
Wow.
So before the ship sails with all their stuff. So it's kind of a, the A4 TSR adventure where you run around a loincloth and a dagger. A little more than that.
I love it.
So anyway, spellcasters got all their spells, that kind of thing, but we throw a bunch of obstacles in the way. So that's no spoilers, but that's the gimmick of that one. They start with a lot of nothing and have to make their way, and they run into different. Just think there's crazy stuff happens between there and where they're going. Plus, they have no idea where they're going, so they don't know the city at all. And it's fun. It's a fun little adventure.
Yeah, that's cool. So a couple, man. Oh man, I got to get to this here. So Agile says yes, Steven. They are all here, sir. Agile. Bill Barsh rules from Stephen Clements. Bel Muerte says I'll be rolling dice Saturday on the monthly Fantasy Grounds game day. Awesome, dude. That's awesome. Super awesome. Fantasy Grounds game day is free to play. Advanced Fantasy Games gifted 5 memberships to 5 different people here. Obviously, 5. Yeah. Thank you so much, DM Greg. I really appreciate that. So Soul the Dreamer, Forgetful Paladin, Erudites, DM. I'm going to mess up all these names here. Sorry. Cicero Renino and Michael Cashman all received a 1-month membership to the DM and Friends. Thank you so much, Advanced Fantasy Games. And he says is celebrating 3,000 subs in one ping. Thank you so much. And I will say that you also hit another milestone here with those membership gifts. We just hit 200 members because of you just now, DM Greg. So thank you so much. So really, really appreciate that. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Helping keep the lights on. So that's really awesome. Here's a question for you, Bill. Freezer says, what is your favorite time period that you study? Has it affected your gaming designs?
I am a huge fan of pulp fiction. So I don't know if I studied that time period, but I honestly, for me, I find the time period of like 1890s through the 20s or 30s fascinating.
Dude, I love that. Yes.
Just because, even it's funny to imagine that, even our planet was there's so much still to discover at that time period, right? And I that's my favorite fiction to read is those time periods. For the most part.
Are you a big H.P. Lovecraft fan?
Yeah, and I'm not actually. I'm an okay Lovecraft fan. I'm certainly more of a Howard fan, and not just for Conan. Look, you can't not love Conan the Barbarian, but I probably love everything else that Howard did, probably even more.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Howard fan. As far as like fiction, I've read everything from Agatha Christie at least twice. She's my favorite author of all time. And I get a lot of inspiration from Agatha Christie. And I know it sounds weird, but those mystery writers from that time period just man, they're so talented. But
just the way they wrote. I mean, just
the way they wrote, right? And the way they develop characters, and the way they can take even simple ideas and make them fascinating and interesting. That's kind of how I take it upon myself. I feel challenged by that too, and that's kind of what I try to do. But contemporary stuff. Michael Crichton is, I think, his passing was absolutely horrendous because we lost, I think, so much more he could have done. And forget the movies most of the movies they adapted his stuff. If that's your only reference for Michael Crichton, forget that. Go buy all his books and read them. You will be in for a shock. I mean, as good as Jurassic Park is, the novel is just absolutely spectacular. And the follow-up one, The Lost World, the movie does not resemble that book in any way, shape, or form.
Really?
That is an amazing book. Absolutely amazing. Michael Crichton, can't speak enough. He's one of my hero authors for sure. But Agatha Christie's probably got to be my number one of all time. And obviously, Tolkien. I've read everything Tolkien.
Yeah, of course.
The Hobbit's my favorite book. I read it at least once a year.
That's funny because I'm seriously there. That is one of my favorite books too.
Yeah, I read it at least, yeah, generally once a year for sure.
That's awesome.
Doc Savage novels, absolutely. I mean, that's just kind of my thing. The Phantom, that kind of stuff. Like that's my jive. Yeah, Solomon Kane, obviously, but from Howard. But yeah, that's my favorite time period for sure because technology's not too advanced, right? In those time periods, but there is some.
There's a little bit of it.
Crazy stuff to explore. I know someone. I think Agile mentioned earlier too about Alan Eldridge and Steve Cole. So Steve, I got along really, really well with Steve Cole, which I don't know not a lot of people do necessarily. But mainly probably because I bought him a lot of Dr. Pepper back in the day. So that was his kryptonite without question. So.
I think what Agile's saying is he knows you guys.
He knew him also. Yeah. Steve still does stuff, and I do need to reach out to him. It's been a minute since we've talked, but Bill, tell folks today when you ran Michigan WinterCon. Yes, so I did help run Michigan WinterCon game conventions. Plus, we ran Origins twice when I was with MDG. So also, if you don't know, so TSR would release stuff like at Michigan and WinterCon, like they would at Gen Con, and it was they brought the whole boat when they came. Ghost Tower of Inverness, one of the most famous tournament modules of all time, was run at Michigan. So, and it's just Quest for Fazelwood is Michigan. Might have been run at WinterCon, but it was one of those two. But absolutely. So yeah, they were great times. I wish they were still going. And honestly, if I lived in Michigan, I would probably figure out a way to make it happen. But I'm in Florida now, so it's
Where are you in Northern or I think I asked you before. Where?
Just outside Orlando. We're in a city called we're in Celebration, Florida. We just moved down here about a year and a half ago now. And Celebration is basically the town it's a town that Disney built, quote unquote. We're right outside Disney property. Well, we're actually technically on Disney property, but yeah, we're right.
Okay.
So we're big Disney people, but not huge. We're not Disney crazy people, but we enjoy it. Both my daughters crazy. We're not totally no. Both my daughters live down here too, right down the road. So, like I said, we were from Michigan originally, but we spent a lot of time in Florida. My in-laws, my mom had a place down in Fort Myers area. So my kids grew up, the family vacations. We come down here all the time, and both my girls went to college down here. So yeah.
Agile says, "Bill, yell."
What? I'm sorry. What did he say?
He says, "Bill, yell."
Oh God.
I don't know. Yeah. So let me come back here. I wanted to say hi to Troublemaker Bricks. Good to see you. He says, "Hi there, everyone. Good to see you tonight, man." I'm losing track of the comments here. You're doing a good job of keeping an eye on the side there. He says yes. Dr. Pepper lives in it too. Steven, yes.
Yeah, Chanel. Yes, big Dr. Pepper fan.
Yeah. Florida man takes over chats. Yes. So, yes, Steven, are you still in Florida right now? Are you back? Are you back, or are you still in?
Is Tennessee? He left? I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. So, I did want to get to. I wanted to ask you about. I'm a big fan of, and I know you guys are. You were doing some on Facebook, right? You guys go to his web. Somebody made a comment too earlier, and I didn't post it up, but I did see it, and I think it was Drag or Freezer talking about going onto your website. And one thing that's really cool is your mod. You keep them very affordable too, and that's somebody mentioned that in here. So go to pacesettergames.com, check out all the stuff there. I mean, you guys have so much stuff up there. So
we have a lot, and we've always been pretty cognizant of that, of keeping our like I said, this isn't. I was very blessed in life. I had a great career in construction. We had a family business. I never needed Pacesetter to make money to pay bills or anything, right? So
Yeah.
Pacesetter was a company that supported Pacesetter, let us go to conventions and do that kind of stuff, and we try to do charity stuff. We're a big supporter of Wounded Warrior, and then we also donate typically to whenever conventions have charity things. We try to get involved with that. So it's allowed us to do all that, but we do try to keep our prices down. We've never been super crazy. I mean, honestly, like I said, those tournament adventures, I think the PDFs are $3. I mean, they're
somebody mentioned that on the and I should have grabbed it and put it up. I mean,
just get it like again, keep in mind a lot of those are tournament versions that they don't always get the full Pacesetter treatment as far as lots of editing and art and that kind of stuff. I mean, they're essentially with the tournament versions that we take to the convention. We run them that way. They're not necessarily all. Some of them are pretty heavily been revised for publication, but a lot of them are still kind of, you get the text box, you get all the stuff you normally see, but they're not as polished, I would say, necessarily all of them anyway. Most of them are, but some of them aren't. Some of them still got like some simple hand-drawn maps. Most of them do not. Most of them have modern map. Our cartographers got to them, but some of them we put it together, we threw it out there, and that was it. We haven't got back to it. So but again, that's just our tournament ones. Everything else gets the full. The full, so, but we do try to keep our
stuff. Great stuff. Great. You guys have got a wide selection. If somebody wants solo stuff, if you want this, or you want expansion, there's all kinds of great stuff up there.
And look, I know, I hope it's not too much for Bolton. We convert from around, I don't know what time we started, around 2017, 18, up until around about a year and a half ago. We generally also published everything in 5e also. So if they are playing 5e, we have a lot of stuff up there. Almost everything that we have for classic D&D has got a 5e conversion to it. There's a few that don't. The Kizzywinks book we did not do. It's whatever. I think it's just classic. It's not. We don't have a 5e version of that. There's a few there's some exceptions, and we're not doing it anymore. We pretty much dropped 5e about a year ago.
Yeah. So, hey, see you later, Freezer. Thanks for jumping by, and I know you're at work, so take care, man. And thanks for all the questions, and thanks for being here. I do want to double click on something you said, because you do a lot of work with Wounded Warriors, and I know you're a veteran. I don't know if I'm blowing your cover. Blowing your cover, but thank you so much for your service. It's part of what I like to do on this show, because I'm a firm believer in us. I'm not a veteran, but almost everybody in my family is, and I have so many friends, and it is dear to my heart. But I love the fact that you're doing stuff with Wounded Warriors, and it's such a great thing. And so I always bring this up because this is near and dear to my heart, and it's something that Agile is doing and has worked out with AidCon. And I don't know if I've asked you if you're going to AidCon or not, but I'll bring this up. It's going to cover us up for a second. You can do one of these if you want to still be seen while I read this off. But Agile Monk is doing a Veteran Heroes Wanted. Veterans Helping Veterans has partnered with, which is his organization, with AidCon to provide complimentary 4-day badges to AidCon 3, which is in July. And so if anybody's interested or knows of a veteran that can be a part of this, be a part of this program, reach out to Agile Monk on the bottom there. At iCloud.com. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll spell it right this time, Agile. But I firmly believe what he's doing here, so that's why I bring it up every time. And it's such a great thing to honor our veterans. So check this out, guys. Awesome. I will put his email in the chat. And like I said, I will spell it correctly this time, because I know I think I got it right. There we go. Yeah. So reach out to Agile. He does some really great work for veterans, and that's a pretty cool deal that they're linked up with Heidi and Eric over there. And And I know a couple already that are going to be going or reached out to Agile. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And his focus is on disabled veterans. So
It's awesome.
yeah, and that's thanks for clarifying that too.
Yeah, I really wish I could make it. Eric and Heidi invited us to go up there, you know, and the whole guest thing and all that. And unfortunately, I'm going to be in Scotland. I don't know if I'm fortunate, but I'll be in Scotland this year. That time.
Oh yeah. Oh,
that's good.
Good
But
for you.
yeah,
Do you guys get to travel quite a bit, or no?
We went a couple years ago. We had so my wife's side of the family, we had a wedding over there, and so she has cousins that live there, second cousins mostly. But we're pretty close. So
that's cool. That's really
cool.
So
there was a wedding, so we all went over there as a family, and we took our whole family. And my kids talk to their kids more than, they're all around the same age. They're in that 20 somethings, and they communicate real well. So we went over 2 years ago. We went for about 10 days, and it was I'd never been, and it was amazing. I mean, I would stay there longer if I could. I absolutely love Scotland. I had a great time. We got up to go. We went to Edinburgh and then up to Inverness, and then back down to called Dundee for the wedding, which was actually held at now I'm losing my mind, the golf course, the super famous golf course in Scotland.
I wouldn't know that. Yeah,
it'll come back to me. But the wedding was actually there, which was crazy. So we loved it. It's beautiful. My wife's really close to her second cousin that lives there. So we're going to go back in this July for about a week and a half, because we didn't get to spend a lot of time with them because they were so busy with the wedding stuff going on. So, but this time we're going to go back and spend about 8-9 days there. And
that's awesome. That's going to be a great little getaway for sure.
It's great. I can't recommend it highly. There's so much to see, and it's so, great castles. Yeah, we went to the one on Loch Ness was really cool. Another one up in Inverness. They're everywhere. One down in Dundee we went to. I mean, castles are everywhere. It's really cool. But man, the country's it's a beautiful scenery everywhere. The only thing is the driving on the wrong side of the road is absolutely scary and freaky as hell. Because we had to rent 2 cars because we had 8 of us in my own immediate family, and you can't get like a Suburban there. So you're out of luck. So we had to get 2 cars, and we're packing all our stuff into 2 cars to go here and there. But driving on the wrong side of the road is one thing, right? But I get to the drivers. You're on the passenger side driving, right? So everything is weird. When you look in your rearview mirror, you got to look the other way because it's on the wrong side of your head. Everything is just different, and you get to the craziest parts were the roundabouts. Like here in the US, you get a roundabout. There's 4. When they built here, there's only 4 exits and entrances to a roundabout. In most of them, even when I've been in the US.
Yeah.
Over there, there'll be like 7 or 8. And you're trying to look at your GPS, and it's telling you to go like just this, a little off to the left once you go.
And you miss it by 1.
And by the way, you got to go the other way on their roundabouts. You don't turn right; you got to turn left into them.
Yeah.
Your brain constantly plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
And, you get off on the one you think is your exit with the GPS, and it turns out you're on the wrong freaking one because they're all right next to each other. It's nuts. Then you got to turn around and go back, and and the streets are tight. I mean, I drove in Italy quite a bit because we've been to Italy several times, and again, that's my wife's side of the family is Italian, but they have a lot of them migrated to Scotland back in the day. So that's why.
Where from Italy? What part?
We're in the Monte Cassino area. It's called Frosinone is the region, but it's pretty much central Italy and up in the mountains. Middle of it is the Kentucky of Italy. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Our family's from Calabria, so.
Gotcha. So it's
I've driven in Italy too, and it's a trip. I've driven a couple places where you're on the wrong side, to us anyways. And it's
Italy. I found a lot easier. Italy, I had no issue with. Scotland is a whole other UK in the world. So,
I almost got in a head on in Bermuda, which that's an English.
Yeah, they drive on the wrong side down there. Yeah.
Real quick, Matthew Sherman, I see you gotta go. he says, see you guys in a couple weeks. So that's awesome. Yeah. Take care, man. Let me see. I'm running behind on comments. Agile says we have 30 veterans in our family. Yeah, I got a whole bunch too. Not 30, but yeah, that's matter of fact, amazing. I'm going to be when I'm in Texas, my uncle lives a couple towns over, and I'm going to hang out with him. He's one of the many in our family too. Blair says, gang, I'm checking out. I have a headache that is relentless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yes. Blair, have a great evening, and take care of that headache. All right. Swords and Stones is here. Evening, folks. It was good bantering back and forth with you earlier today. Let me see. Great castles in Scotland. Blair says also our community surpassed 3,000 mark today. Yes, we did. Thank you so much for the support and helping us grow. And remember, if you're in North Texas, you will be able to see Blair in her maiden voyage for, from what I understand, playing RPGs, number one, and first con. So
it's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's a good first con to ever go.
Great first con.
Yeah, you're gonna be my whole prediction there is you'll be back next year there too. So because you'll love it so much. Stephen Clemens says Scotland is so beautiful. Every step you take is worthy of painting. Yeah. Italian roads are very tight. Yes, they are. Yeah, I loved driving. I drove from Rome to through. Oh my God! I'm going blank. Okay, we'll come back to that because I'm having a brain fart. Anyways, first time in the Lone Star State too. Wow. Okay, that's big. You're gonna have to get some barbecue.
Texas. Great state.
You're gonna have to get some barbecue out there.
Definitely.
Good barbecue in Texas. Yeah. So, Bill, I wanted to, we got on a little tangent there, which, I feel is really important is the veteran stuff. So, thank you again, man. Thanks for your service, number one. And thanks for continuing that,
it's
helping veterans. Yeah. So very cool.
I laugh about it. I've been out longer than I was that age when I joined.
Yeah. Well, what was your? Do you can you mind sharing with us a little bit about your?
No, that's fine.
Your military career, because I know I know a lot, maybe, but these people,
sure.
Our friends here probably don't.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, without I grew up with not a lot of money, so I wasn't going to be running off to college or anything. So I got out of high school. I graduated at 17. I was young. A whole other story with that. But, I started my senior year at 16. I graduated at 17. But anyway, so I got a job, went to community college. I did that for like a year and a half. And I was never the greatest student on the planet. I freely admit it. But just working full time, trying to go to school, I did it for like a year and a half. And I was like, this is just not cutting it. And no one in my family had ever been to college. So I was the first one even to go to college. So I decided at that point, you know what, I need to do something different and I need to make this easier on myself. So, what's the method I can do? I can join the Army and get the GI Bill and go that route. So that's what I did. So I joined in, I had a very odd experience. Most people, it's kind of like I was definitely, some people were smiling upon me the whole thing. I did basic training and I went to infantry school. So I was 11 Bravo, did my MOS, and I got through that and I got sent to Airborne school. And I think I didn't have it in my contract. I just got sent there. I'm assuming because I did pretty well through the 13-week training process up to then. So go to Airborne school, and just my luck, I'm in this platoon or group with literally almost all Navy SEALs who are going through their Airborne phase. And these guys were animals, right? Just just PT to death. Just, they're like, no, you can't smoke us, kind of thing. So they're always screwing with the cabin. And so anyway, I got stuck with them, and oh my God, it was brutal. I made it through that. And then I got selected to go to Ranger School. We lost Steven, I think. Or not Steven, Angelo.
Yeah, that was weird. We got a little blip over here.
There you are.
Sorry about that.
And so anyway, I had like a week or two in between. I wound up going to Ranger School. Again, this isn't normal, by the way. Normally you have to go get to these schools. You usually just go to your regular unit, and then you have to apply and you get selected, blah, blah, blah. I was very fortunate to make it, and I made it all the way through. And then I went through the assessment program for to get in the Ranger Battalion. So, or the 75th Ranger Regiment, but I made it through and got stuck at 3rd Ranger Battalion, which was at Fort Benning. So I literally never left Fort Benning. So I went through basic training, infantry school, airborne school, and Ranger school, all at the same place. And then I got my permanent duty station there.
Got it.
Okay. Saying I was hanging with Navy SEALs is not.
I knew
okay,
it.
I survived it. Okay. So let's leave it at that. And then again, I was I was 18, 19 in the best shape of my life. So, all right. Again, that was a long, long, long time ago. So anyway, that was my process. And I wound up doing 6 years in Ranger Battalion, almost 7 actually. And then I had to make a really tough decision of re-enlisting or getting out and finishing college. So I decided that, at that point it was either move on to try and go further in special operations or go to college. And I was like, you know what? I promised my mom I'd go to college. So I got out, joined the Army Reserve actually for another 6 years, and did that when I went to college. So that was my process. I did a lot. It was an amazing experience. I was fortunate in a lot of ways, and like I said, I got to experience and go to a lot of places and do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And like I said, it was a great experience. Both my brothers also served in the Army. They're younger, a lot younger than I am, but anyway, that was it. And it was a long, long time ago, but great experience for me. I can say that.
Yeah, I think out of my family, I was probably the only one that did not go. I had a lot of drinking to do and a lot of other things.
Understand.
Yeah.
Understand. Yeah. Like I said, I never planned at any of that. I planned on going in and doing the least I could do.
Yeah.
I was GI Bill. I was like, I'll make no bones about it. I went in for GI Bill. I didn't ask for anything in my contract. I said, I'm going infantry. It's the shortest school, and I'm just going to do my time. And the odd thing was, it's the Army, so everything always changes. Because I went to Ranger School and in the battalion, I got extended. My contract got extended 2 years as part of the deal. As they said.
You can't refuse the deal. Yeah.
No. And like I said, just to have the opportunity to do all that. Like I said, someone was smiling on me the whole time, and I never got seriously injured in anything. I just very lucky, or, all that. So,
yeah, man, that's great. That's a great story, man. Agile says Fort Benning, all those days.
Yeah. So I'm assuming he was at Fort Bragg. I went to Fort Bragg once. We did some training there, but I wasn't ever stationed. So I was stationed at Fort Benning, and I was hardly ever there. We were gone all the freaking time. I spent almost a year in Panama. So
you were deployed quite a. I think you.
Yeah, I was. We were
times.
We were deployed quite a bit.
Yeah.
I was. I was in for Operation Just Cause, which is Panama, and then Desert Shield, Desert Storm. So.
Yeah. Agile says all great stuff, Bill. Troublemaker says my daughter asked me D&D first edition. Do you use the same set of dice like in D5?
I'm not sure what the D5 means.
I don't know. Yeah,
but you do use the same dice as you do in any other version of D&D. So.
Yeah. That's the Ranger tab deal. He says, man, that is a blessed and lucky. He says for not, and he said, Agile says I was in both Fort Benning and Bragg. So I wonder if you guys ever cross paths. I know Agile was in for a while.
I was my total time in was 85 to 99.
85 to 99. Got it. Wow, that's a stretch. That's a stretch right there. So you were
active duty was only like 7.5 years of that. The rest was in the Army Reserve in Michigan. So
were you okay? I'm trying to remember who was in Somalia.
That was us, but it was right. I was in. That was right before I got through everything. So
got it. Yeah, because what was that 93, 94?
No, it was after.
Yeah.
So
94, 96. I can't remember what years that was. Yeah. Anyways, I had some friends that were on some of the.
Yeah, I was no longer. I wasn't on active duty at that time. I was in the reserves then.
I was going to tell you, I wore my, speaking of first edition, in honor of you, I wore for the best version of D&D ever, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I remember during the auction, somebody said something, you're like, and you picked up a BX book, or no, was it Holmes or a BX book? He said the best version of it, and then you started a riot in the crowd. Do you remember that page? It was last year.
Yes.
I don't remember what version you picked up, but here you go. It's 18F S9. It's most proud of my S9 identifier. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
So Troublemaker says my daughter wants to learn D1 to show her husband that she can play D1. What is D1? It's going right over my head. Troublemaker.
D1 I think it is Division 1 because, like I said, my girls actually played softball in college, so I don't know exactly what he's referring to there.
Yeah. Clarify. You know more than him in D1. Our community, have a great night. Swords and Stones, you're taking off. All right. And that's funny because you referred to me as DMA and Friends, and I do that went right over my head earlier today. So DM Angelo. Okay, now I get it, Swords and Stones. So cheers, keep them rolling. Yep, that's awesome. Yep. Yeah, take care, Swords and Stones. I think I've tried to transition over to this a couple of times. I wanted to talk to you specifically about Avengers stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this one in particular, I think this was this was a North Texas and North Texas AD&D tournaments.
It was an AD&D tournament.
I love it. I love this one. I think so. This was this was for 2019. So that would
I was gonna say it had to be around 2019. Yeah.
This was for the first. This is for the year before COVID, which I think. Even though it still ran during COVID, did you go in 2020? I didn't go.
I couldn't because they wouldn't. We lived in Michigan and we had to do some 2-week quarantine if we flew to Texas or whatever. So
they
had all kinds of weird rules. So we did everything virtually. So we still ran the D&D tournament. We did it all virtually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I didn't run any games, but I think I played in a couple that year. But I remember that was
Friday Night BattleTech virtually, and I think I ran my Saturday night game. So it was cool. But so you see that, and again, like if you order. I don't even think we offer most of our tournament versions anymore in physical form, but our tournament books were coil bound, and that was just because it's easier when you run them as a tournament.
At the table it makes so much sense.
Our normal books don't come that way. The tournament ones do.
I really like this. I got this physical, and then this is the third print. So this was, I think you guys reprinted these in 23, and I got it from you. And I liked it really. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, but this is a true tournament style. The D&D cartoon, Avengers Final Wish. You guys also included some AD&D statted Like here's Eric, the Cavalier, even though I think you guys
No, he's a fighter.
Made him a fighter, which is interesting.
We did not follow
him. That you called him lawful good, which
well, we do that for the tournament. We make everyone lawful good in the tournament. So
did you? Yeah. Because I would kind of beg to differ that he was probably not in the cartoon, anyways.
Yeah,
because he very much so thought of himself only. And I picture this is a great question for you because we could talk about alignments really quick. I always picture law as being for the group. Chaos being for you're kind of yourself type of thing on the front end, not talking about evil or good, but that's my definition of it. So I kind of see him as being more chaotic
for sure, but and the reason he's the reason he is a fighter is because we use first edition AD&D rules for the tournament.
Yeah, you didn't use the
second edition. So so that was fun. Like I said, we always try to do something different every year for the tournament.
Look,
we spent a lot of time coming up with unique ideas and stuff. So
I thought this was a great idea, dude. Like
it was fun. So I was trying to remember when you asked me originally about this. You said I want to have you on and talk about this, and I was trying to remember exactly why we did it that year. I'm almost positive that would have been the year that they came out with the new deluxe CD set or DVD set of the cartoon, that small box.
That
1 year. I think
they had one. They had one with third edition rules in it, and they statted out the players third edition.
No. I'm talking about the cartoon, like the cartoon series on DVD, right?
That's what I'm talking about. And it was a deluxe version, and it had 3.5 stats. I have a copy somewhere, but then there must have been another one too. Is that what you're talking about?
It must be. I think that would. I was like, probably, like I said, I was probably sitting around thinking of what are we going to do for the tournament next year? And I have to start working on these things like 8, 9, 10 months in advance because I never know if I'm going to have a good idea for it or not. And like I said, we try to do something very unique every year. And I want to say that's probably what got that going. It's like, hey, what if we have all the player characters play the characters from the D&D cartoon?
Which we all love, man.
Which everyone loves, right? And then, and then again, it gave me the license to get creative with it and twist things around. And again, the tournament for us normally is, we've now knocked it down to 6 players, but we ran it for 8 forever with 8 players. So that one ran 8. So you got the 6 core characters from the cartoon series.
Love it.
And then we added 2 more that were in various episodes. So
And I gotta open this back up and
Kelso, I think, is one of them.
Valimar Cleaver, you are right, because I actually have a copy in the other room of that version that came out during the 3.5 era. I think Bill's talking about another set, and I think it was like a red box.
I don't think it's in here. I don't know where it's at, actually.
I think it had a red cover because the one 3.5 I think was brown.
Okay.
And Valimar
it's definitely red. I'm most positive it is red.
Yeah, that's the newer one. Yeah, that's the newer one. I don't know. I have a copy of that too. I don't remember if they statted them out, but I know in the one I'm referring to, they statted them out, and it was really interesting because they got really detailed. Let me see. So you have, let me see the other characters, because you obviously have the core 6, which was awesome. We loved them. We all grew up with them. Bobby. Oh, Varla. Yeah.
Varla. Yeah.
And you have Presto in here. Hank. Who's the other one? Oh, Kosar. And that was the monk.
Made him a monk too. Yeah.
Monk. And then you had her. She was a fighter magic user. Yeah, very cool. So you just kind of were sitting around and you came up with that idea, and then
I'm like, we're gonna go with this year and kind of surprise everyone. And we actually got someone sent me all the miniatures. So a friend of mine who does a lot of miniature stuff. He's like, what are you doing tournament this year? And I'm like, well, we're doing this. And he's like, oh, I got all the figures. So and so made them. So he painted them all up, and he got the extra. I got Avenger figure, and he had them all ready for me to finish. It was so cool. So it was great. So again, so I had to come up with an adventure, right? So
Yeah.
That was the next thing, and it was okay. Well, the kids need to is, they're not. First of all, they're not kids anymore. So I kind of reworked the whole thing. Essentially.
Yeah. I mean, they're older. They've been in the realm for a long time.
Been around for a while, and then I'm like, okay, so why are they still there? And what's the problem? Why can't they get back and all that? And that's when I kind of came up with the idea that Dungeon Master is the actual villain of the cartoon.
Yeah.
So,
was,
Jen Glazer, hello.
Yeah. So Jen Glazer's in the house, everyone. She says, "Hey, all." Valimar Cleaver says Redbot also has a 3/5 stat.
Okay.
So maybe it was red too. So I think that was awesome.
I wouldn't doubt. Yeah.
Agile Monk asks, who here has Adventures RPG by
Pacesetter Games? The Adventure RPG is our Holmes expansion. So when we first started doing those Holmes sets, we were like, well, the problem with the Things Better Left Alone dungeon, it's like a fourth. Well, it was probably higher than that. Holmes was definitely not. So the original Holmes set only has rules for levels 1 through 3.
1 through 3, yeah.
And that was a problem immediately because this adventure with all the notes, we clearly couldn't do anything with that. We had to go higher, more mid-level. So we did 4 to 6. So then it was like, okay, so what rule set are we going to write this thing for? And I really, really wanted to stick with Holmes. So we decided to do a quick, and it was quick, Holmes rule set, levels 1 through 10. And we called it the Adventure RPG. We did not print tons of these. We really only put them out to go with those sets. So if people do have them, there's not a lot of you to do because, again, we didn't print more than a couple hundred of them. So not a lot of people have them. And it's not something that we're going to do sustainably. It was more of kind of a unique thing to go with that game.
But you can still get the PDF from.
You can still get the PDF. So I'm pretty sure if they're not on our site, they're definitely on Drive-Thru.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You go on Drive-Thru, guys. Search for Pacesetter Games, and
we do. Not all of our stuff. Just FYI, not all of our stuff is on Drive-Thru. We generally only put our kind of out of print stuff on Drive-Thru. Yeah. Some of our older products. There's some cross contamination. Our website is by far the better place to go. Plus, our website works like Drive-Thru. You buy anything from us, you have it forever. If you lose it, you just go log back into your account on our website. And you can download whatever you've purchased. And if we update it, you get notified, hey, they updated this module. Download your new copy. So works just like it.
Yeah. Dreg says Agile and I have it and provided a ton of feedback at release. Yeah. Yep. That's awesome. Yep.
Unfortunately, again, we probably didn't do a whole lot with it after that because it was really a limited project for us. It's something that I don't know that we'll get back to or not. It was really just to give people the basic tools to be able to run those adventures. And now we've changed streaming and we're doing it all for classic D&D. So it's kind of
Yeah. So as far as this,
getting back to that,
the new one that you, because I know you posted, you had a bunch that you printed out and you posted. Everybody jumped on it, and I texted you like, hey, save me one over. Yeah. So I'm interested to hear a little bit of the background of that.
Well, we've had so many people that particular tournament adventure we get more feedback on that and more people asking us to do more.
Well, the nostalgia factor of this is
and that's what it is. I think people have a lot of fun with it. I mean, I had a lot of fun with turning it on its head. Again, like this isn't really a spoiler. You're pretty much got most of this information from the very beginning, especially as a GM. I mean, if you're a player, you don't want to hear any of this. I don't know what to tell you. Don't listen.
Close your ears if you want to hear this and you want to play it. Yeah.
So essentially, what we wound up doing was taking Dungeon Master as the actual villain, and Avengers is not necessarily a good guy, but he's not a bad guy either. And it turns out that. Can I talk about this for about 3 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes?
Yeah, please do. Yeah, that's
I don't want to bore him to death. But the premise basically is Dungeon Master grabs kids. He was really constantly messing around in the D&D world, and he's actually a god demigod. And his whole thing is he's always messing with people's lives, like normal people, like people in the world. And the rest of the gods said, you know what, it's too much. You're way too much involved with all this stuff. Knock it off. So they banned him from being able to directly interfere with the lives of people in the D&D world.
Yeah.
This is all backstory. And
sure.
So Dungeon Master, being the a-hole that he is, said, well, okay, but if I take people from another world and put them in here and then use them as my proxies to mess around with the world, I'm really not breaking the rules. So that's what he did. So he went and steals teenagers from our world, the D&D world, and then uses them to go on all these crazy adventures and just mess with stuff.
Yeah.
So it turns out he's been doing this, and the kids that we know are not the first ones he did this with. He selects teenagers because teenagers are dumb and impressionable. I'll get to that question. Did I make Avenger?
Yeah, that's an interesting.
The quick answer is going to be no, but I'll explain later more. We're actually just about to get to that part. So the very first group of kids that he stole and have them running around doing adventures for years and never being able to get home because he's an a-hole. There were originally seven of them, right? If I get my numbers wrong. There's six. They're originally seven, and one of the seven, his name was Steve, and they were been there for a couple of years, not ever getting home because that's the modus operandi, and finally they're kind of like getting kind of sick of this. So Dungeon Master says, hey, I know how to get you home. I found a way. If you go kill the mother of all dragons, who's living in this big dragon lair, you're going to be able to get home. She's guarding a gate. And the one guy, Steve, is like, well, I really don't want to kill something just so we can get home. That's kind of not the right thing to do. And the rest of the group are like, no, I think we got to go do this. Let's go at least see what's going on. Maybe we can find a way, whatever. So they go and they engage the mother of all dragons. And it turns around, Steve's like, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to kill this creature or sentient creature, whatever. And the rest of the group kind of feels anyway, they wound up defeating her, but they get cursed.
Sure.
And no, there were six of them. Sorry, there were six, not seven. There were six. And the five wind up defeating her, and they get cursed. But so they get transformed into Tiamat. So each one of them is now one of the five heads of Tiamat.
Oh, interesting correlation there. Yeah.
Yeah, they blame Steve, the guy who held back, for their curse.
Got it.
Because he wasn't there to help them. So they're infuriated and want revenge on him, and they go chasing him down. He winds up escaping, becomes an apprentice to a lich, gains power, blah, blah, blah. And we kind of move forward a time being, and again, so Dungeon Master's lost these kids, so he's got to get new kids. So sometime down the road, he brings our kids into the world. Oh, we lost DM Angelo again.
Another blip. Whoops. Sorry about that.
I know he refers to him as his son, but he's not. So at least in my universe.
Yeah, one of the shows I think he does or something like that, right?
So it winds up Avengers actually was one of the first group of kids that got kidnapped. And Tiamat hates them so bad because they blame him for their transformation into Tiamat. And he hates Dungeon Master so bad because he knows that Dungeon Master used them for his own personal jollies, essentially. Yeah. So, and he knows if he can get all the items of power back, he can transform his friends back from being Tiamat. So that's why he's going after the kids to get the stuff back. So turns out Dungeon Master is the true villain. But anyway, that's all the kind of the backstory. So no, Avenger is not Dungeon Master's son, which, oh my God, I'm sorry. It's so freaking lame. It's not even funny.
Well, it's funny. Before you even wrote this, there was a lot of, I remember back in the day on Facebook, there was a lot of back and forth, people debating it, like, is he's probably.
I can tell you right now.
And then there was also the father-son thing, and all that.
It's just, I get it, but oh my God, come on. It's so, tropes are okay, but my goodness, we can get a little more original than that. So anyway, that's kind of what I did with it. So anyway, the get to Avengers Final Wish, the adventure. The kids are on this, Dungeon Master's got them going on this adventure, but he knows he's losing control of them. They're older now. They're kind of
wiser,
and they're kind of figure out that he's actually been screwing them over for all these years. They're never going to get home as long as they are, doing what Dungeon Master wants them to do. So he gets them kind of on this last thing. It winds up being this big trap where they're in this arena and they got to battle to the death with these other kind of adventurer kind of characters.
Yeah.
And Dungeon Master's up in basically the giant press box of this arena, and he's got Avenger up there. He's captured him, and he's got him kind of like chained up and all that. And the adventure kind of, again, the PC's got to go on a bunch of encounters before they get to the arena, and then they kind of get trapped in there. They got to do this battle, and then they got to free Dungeon Master. They wind up winning, hopefully. Again, this is a tournament setup, so they may not win. If they kind of get through it, they got a chance of actually kind of releasing Venger, and then he gives them the final clue on how to get home. So they wind up getting home. So, and he tells them the story of, hey, this is how I came to be, and that kind of thing. So that was, again, the tournament adventure that year, and the players got to discover that going through, right?
Yeah.
And see how far they got, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, I think you hit it. You hit it right. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, anyway, so over the years, people I get asked a lot. You need to do another one. You need to do another one. And I'm like, well, okay, but we kind of pushed the envelope doing this at all.
Yeah. How do you continue? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have a pretty good relationship, honestly, with Wizards of the Coast. We've done some other stuff that we've kind of had to get permission to do and that kind of thing. And they've always been absolutely by the way, as awful as they can be with a lot of things, and they are truly awful. There are people there, at least in their legal department, which have always been very, very nice to us. So I got to be kind of careful how much I tread on their IP. So again, running it as a tournament and doing this little thing, whatever. We're not doing a big Kickstarter with this or anything. That's not.
Yeah.
So that's a bridge too far. But anyway, we got a lot of people asking, and I put it off, and finally I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I've had an idea to do another adventure based on this. This whole Venger Dungeon Master dynamic. So I finally put Venger's Final Rest together. And this one kind of kicks off where Venger's actually dead. Dungeon Master's killed him. But his spirit is summoning back the kids from the real world to do one last mission to stop Dungeon Master from getting the items of power that he's hidden.
Got it.
Because if Dungeon Master gets them, he can enslave more kids. So he wants them to get these things and put them in this vault where Dungeon Master could never, ever get to them again. So they come back, they get their stuff, they got to go through this adventure, and they actually got to find their items of power now because they don't have them. So in the adventure, Avenger's Final Rest, they have to find all their items of power in this dungeon and get them back to Avenger's crypt and get them in the crypt with him so Dungeon Master can never, ever get them again. And that's the adventure in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but that's it. So, but that's it. Then they get to go home again, and that is it. Bill Barsh is never writing another.
Yeah, not coming back. Yeah,
one, we're not running it as a tournament, obviously, but it's a fun little adventure. I think a capper. And
yeah. I think you hit it on the money because it is a good adventure, and it's also very nostalgic. Those characters mean a lot to
a lot of people, and you get I think we did a pretty good job of encapsulating them into a D&D character sheet. I think they mimic their powers pretty well. None of them are absolutely like crazy powerful. Presto is absolutely my favorite one. What we did with his hat, right? You can't mimic what goes on in the cartoon, right? You can't. But what we did with his hat is when he casts a spell out using his hat, pulling a spell out of his hat, you're just going to randomly roll. So magic users are going to roll a d10 and see what level spell you're casting. If you roll a 10, you roll over. So you could literally pull out a 9th level spell, but then you don't get to pick. You got to roll that randomly too. So you are literally rolling randomly out of all the first edition AD&D spells, magic user spells, what spell's coming out of that hat. And he has to, when he does it, he doesn't have a choice. He has to cast it. So it doesn't matter. We've had people like wipe out the entire party.
Yeah, I love it. Well, that magic item is so
a cloud kill or some shit like that, right? And it's like, oh, this is gonna be bad, right? And
fireball or
lightning
bolt in a 10-foot room.
But we had some people had so much fun with it, right? And again, in a tournament setting, you're at a convention, you're just having fun, and the first couple times, like the players playing Presto are always like, oh man, I don't know if I want to use this because I could cause some damage to our party.
Yeah.
Everyone around the table is like, oh hell no, start rolling dice, let's see what happens.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun. So I think, like I said, I think we did a pretty good job of mimicking the characters with their special powers and that kind of thing. Bobby does a pretty cool things with his club and all that. So it's all about having fun at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I absolutely did not take myself seriously, by the way, with any of this. This is just fun. It's fun for me to write it. It was, I think people had a blast playing it at the Presto's Hat as a Wonder is a good idea. Like I said, we wanted to get a little bit more crazy with it. So I think we probably even thought about that was probably in the consideration. But I was like, you know what? Yeah, but what happens if he pulls out a 7th level spell that's just absolutely, earthquake or something like that?
I mean, it was very unpredictable for sure. But, back many years ago, I played in a game at a con in LA area. The DM's name was Mook, who's passed away a while back, but he was a big GURPS guy, and he adapted not similar to what you did, but he made those characters in a GURP game and had a scenario similar. It was after the show, but I played Presto in it, and it's I can't remember the mechanic he used, but it was something very, very interesting, and but every time it came to me to use it, I role played it so well. I don't know, maybe I had a lot of I don't know, maybe I was drinking a lot of Dr. Pepper or something, but I made a rhyme like he did and so he gave out rewards for who played the best, and I won the trophy.
Oh, that's awesome.
And anyways, but yeah, I thought that was the nostalgia behind those characters is just
for sure. And like I know we could have done a lot more with them, but again, everyone out there just who's listening to this, just please keep in mind this was written as a tournament adventure, and I have to, there's restrictions we have to keep things in confines, so it's fair to every group that's playing because we have multiple groups playing through it. So we have to keep things, there's a certain guides that we have to keep the guardrails going to make sure. Presto is the anomaly for sure, but he would have been an anomaly for every group. But the rest of them, again, the characters have to be efficient. They also have to have limitations, and so it's fair for everyone playing in the tournament. No one gets an advantage over another group necessarily. So there's some of that goes into that. Again, you asked me earlier. Well, I know we get back to the solo module thing, but tournaments too. When you write tournaments, I mean, there's it's a different way of writing D&D adventures for sure because there's so much balance that you have to, and mechanics that you have to build into a tournament adventure.
Yeah,
because it can't get off the rails. Well, again, we have different dungeon masters running this event. They all need to run it the exact same way. Like someone can't interpret what something does. That can't happen in a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, tournament style, it's got to be it's very strict kind of.
Yeah,
every group has to have the same opportunities. Yeah,
and like we tell everyone when we play in the tournament, it's like, hey, you're playing D&D. You're just playing it a different way. That's all. It doesn't mean you have to play this way every time, but it's interesting to play D&D in just a different way.
Yeah. To the comments here real quick. Yeah, Dreg, it's a funny comment that you said there. He says, I thought DM Angelo said that a dungeon master is never supposed to be an adversarial or against the party. Yeah, apparently this dungeon master, not me, but this one that he's referring to was the bad guy.
Dungeon master from the cartoon. He's not necessarily adversarial to the party, but he certainly didn't help them out.
He didn't help them out. Yeah. Well, I gave them clues that were very, it's like describing a room and it's not really like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Valor
he went through 30 some episodes and never got home. That's all the clues you need.
He's a big tease is what he was. That's in my opinion. Yep. Stephen, you said, interesting. YouTube hid my comment about Dungeon Master being simply inclined at a certain financer with an island. Oh my God. Stephen, I don't see that you're I've been noticing that too. So you guys that are on the chat, YouTube's been flagging comments, and they're not even like. Well, okay, I see one of your comments that it flagged, Steven, which was talking about gator wrestling.
We know what to think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I got to figure out how to.
I'm not going to go that far.
Remove the
Right.
comment stuff. Yeah.
But anyway, can we get back to the solo thing real quick?
Yeah. Let's do it.
I think somebody asked earlier about the solo. What do you prefer, solo adventure or group play adventures? So, and I think you mentioned it. Like, not a lot of people do solo adventures, and the reason why is because they are really, really hard to do. Honestly.
You mean people writing them? Not. I mean, there's a market for.
There's 100%. A market. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. We do very, very well with them, and they're a big hit for us. But the reason that you don't see a lot of people producing them, especially kind of the way we write ours, which is more like pick a path kind of style, except you can just go a lot of different ways and replay these things multiple times, is because the mechanics behind designing a solo adventure is really, it's not, I don't want to say hard. Hard might not be the right word. It's complex. It's, you talk about something where you're essentially writing a video game for pen and paper where everything has to work. And that if a player makes a choice, on the options that we give them, and they need to go back to a certain part or whatever, it all has to work. And, that can be really time consuming to constantly write all this stuff out and make sure all your choices lead to the right spot and bounce back to the right spot. And you don't send a character going through your adventure to the wrong location because you mixed up a letter or a number or whatever. Again, I think that's why a lot of people don't do solo adventures, because the story part of it is the easy part. The mechanics behind the adventure actually working is a whole different ballgame. And that becomes tedious. It takes a lot of time. Our editors, I tell you right now, our editors hate it when we send them a solo adventure because they know they got to run through the whole thing and track everything to make sure everything goes to where it's supposed to be. When you tell someone to go,
oh, you did this. Screw them up. You can screw them up if you get, go to this and then it's really wrong. Yeah.
Select A, B.
It can be an easy miss too. You know what I mean?
It's a super easy miss. Select A, B, or C. I select B, and you go to B, and it says select D, E, and F, and you go to D, E, and F, and he selects E, but E says you can go back to B, H. And that's just how it works. That thing just explodes out into all these options. They have to all work back together with each other, and then keep the adventure going. So, solo play, lens play with VTTs, for sure. Because again, we have to keep that fog of war thing going also. And most of our solo adventures, a lot of ours you can map as you go, which is a really unique feature. And it's, but people love it. So it's, again, they're complex. I've talked to other designers. They did one solo adventure and they're like, I'm never doing another one because they're like, it's just, I could write 5 adventures in the time it takes me to write one solo adventure because of the amount of complexity that you got to build. And they get very large, by the way. Your word count explodes in them, right?
I bet. Yeah.
A 20 encounter, a 24 encounter adventure, let's say, which would normally be like a 32-page adventure module or 36-page adventure module, in a solo adventure turns into 56 to 60 pages, like that. And plus you gotta have special rules for it because how do you deal with encumbrance? How do you deal with dying? How do you deal with resting? How do you deal with X, Y, and Z? There's all kinds of things that you kind of incorporate into it.
Yeah.
How do you get around the people want to? I got nothing like you want to fudge your dice, do whatever you want, but so we learned really on. And with our solo adventures, by the way, they're true solo adventures. You play with one character. You don't take a whole party through. You take one character and you go through the adventure. So you're playing by yourself, but you're also only playing one character. So how do you make sure your character lives? Well, we invented a mechanic called adventure points. So all characters have a few adventure points. And if something goes really bad, you use an adventure point, you get a mulligan, you can reroll your dice or whatever. So there's other things you have to build into solo adventures. I've watched a couple of YouTube people talk about especially like the modern D&D people talk about solo adventures, and I'm like, what are you people talking about? Like, I don't even know what they're just bizarre stuff, and it's like, why would you do it that way? And they're like, because it's on. They're like, it's their evaluation is it's really not any fun. I'm like, well, I couldn't imagine running 5 characters through and just randomly rolling everything would be any fun either. That's not solo adventuring. Ours are patterned off like a lot of the old Tunnels and Trolls solo adventures from back in the day. That's how ours kind of work. I think we're a lot more efficient with it. Again, you can map all ours. So, but anyway, I got into a long diatribe on it.
No, I love it.
Doing them, and we have a lot of fun with them. So, but they are a lot of work, and that's I think why you don't see a lot of them.
And I brought up a bunch of comments too. For instance, well, then now they're starting to dare somebody so they can see if they can get blocked from YouTube. Try it, because I'm wondering. I'm actually pretty surprised. Some of the comments that YouTube will. And I don't see them on the screen here, and they don't get but they get blocked at YouTube because the first thing is you guys are on YouTube, and you put your comment in, and YouTube will block it, and then it won't come up on Restream, so it doesn't come up on the screen. So it's not like I'm trying to do that to you guys. It's
right.
YouTube. So I have to go in with the settings and remove that somehow. So note to self: I'll get my pencil with an eraser. There we go, and I'll write that. Okay, there we go. But yeah, so a lot of people were saying like, there's a huge market for it. I mean, I think, a lot of people sometimes don't, I miss the face-to-face games, and I play an online game
100%.
Every Wednesday, because I moved and our games group's still together. It's been going on for 15 plus years. Greyhawk campaign. Like, I love that, but my preference is face-to-face,
100%.
For most of us, right? But there's those times where you want to just sit and play a solo adventure, and I was going to ask you, out of all yours, go ahead.
No, I trying to forecast where you're going with this. We do them for there is a market for them, and there's a demand for them.
And that's what I was going to say. A lot of people on here said, "Oh keep doing them." Yeah,
it's the forever DM, right? Who never gets to play. You know what? Here you go. Here's a book and play. It's the people who want that tactile experience of playing D&D. Like, look, obviously you can play solo by just playing a video game, right? But I think people really enjoy having a book. Turn all the electronic shit off. Just pull one of our solo adventures out, or pull somebody's solo adventure.
Yeah.
Take some dice up, roll up a character.
Hard copy, not a PDF. Hard copy. Yeah.
Hard copy, and just go through and play it. It's absolutely. You would be amazed how much it takes.
Take out the pencil.
Yeah, and it's like playing D&D back in the day. And look, sometimes you don't always have a group with you. We have people all the time tell us this. I use your solo adventures to teach people who've never played D&D how to play Dungeons and Dragons. And we never thought of that originally, but honestly, it is a great tool for that, because what you can do is, instead of they're not going to play solo. What you're going to do is you're going to run the solo adventure for them, because it's D&D. If you've never played a role-playing game before, right? People don't understand they get to make choices, and how do you make choices? Where do you get the ideas from? So if you use our solo adventures, it gives them options, and then you start figuring out really quick how you're going to play a solo adventure.
How many people started out with, this wasn't my first experience but back me, right?
Yeah,
that first adventure in there, that solo event. I don't know if you've ever played in it.
But yep. But it's a great way to, especially kids. People use our solo adventures to teach their kids how to play D&D all the time.
Yeah.
Because they'll read a passage and they'll tell, they'll say, hey, you can go left, go right, or search the treasure chest. What do you want to do? Right. So the novice player doesn't have to come up with what they want to do all on their own. That's a learned.
You're given options. Yeah,
it's a learned D&D. So they play a solo adventure, play through a solo adventure, and then you go to a regular game of playing D&D, and they go like, oh, I can just come up with ideas of what my character wants to do. So we find a lot of people really enjoy it for that. So again, like I said, we're not telling people playing solo D&D is the alternative to playing group D&D. No, group D&D first, always first.
Oh yeah. But definitely like that forever DM that doesn't,
But here's
somebody like me that's here, in Montana doesn't have a gaming group physical, pull that up. It's great. I think it's awesome.
But, so here's a tool to do it on your own. And again, it's again, the tactile experience of having a book, turning pages, rolling dice, and marking up your character is it's just like playing the game you would normally play. And like I said, I think we do. We have a lot of people really seem to really enjoy them, and it keeps us busy.
Yeah, man. What do you think is your best best solo game that you have right now? I'm going to come to North Texas. I'm going to get one from you. What's the bet? Which one should I get?
Probably into the one I talked about earlier, Into the Unknown, that Ben did. It's the largest. It's a really big one. It's actually a beautiful book. It's full color. Things like 80 pages or something like that. But we'll have a bunch there, so you can look.
Okay, I'll get one from you when I'm there.
Yeah, we have a bunch of different solo adventures there, so you can choose from. And
yeah, I'll get that one from you.
And
sure.
they're thematically different. We got solo adventures which are like going through a bunch of woodland encounters kind of thing. We've got one going through a spaceship, kind of like Barrier Peak style. We've got an ancient city kind of one.
Yeah.
Kizzy, I think someone talked about Kizzy and Smadland go through this wizard's mad crazy laboratory kind of thing. So we kind of like to mix them up a little bit. We even have Ben did one last year called Up the Beanstalk, and we started it's a whole new line we're doing. We're taking classic fairy tale characters, and we're just doing solo adventures for them. So Up the Beanstalk is our first one. Basically, Jack went up the beanstalk, did his whole thing, and he went up there again. Well, now he's missing. So your character's been hired to go up the beanstalk and find out what happened to Jack. So you don't play Jack, but we incorporate the fairy tale, and you get to adventure in the fairy tale. So we're doing a whole line of those. We got a Winnie the Pooh one coming. We got a Red Riding Hood one coming, and I think a Peter Pan one's the next.
So that's funny you say Jack. Yeah, I think I remember seeing that at North Texas last year, right?
It just come out. The Kickstarter just came out.
I think that was something I saw on your table. Keep that in your mind. The Jack and the Beanstalk. There's an animated movie coming out. I think at the next year.
Cool.
That my friends, that fellow gamer, and we'll have him on the show here pretty soon. But they're doing a huge animated feature with with Jack the Beanstalk.
Super cool.
Super cool. Bill, God, we're at the 2-hour mark. I think it's a good kind of place to wind us down. Okay. Dude, that's so, thank you so much for coming on.
Well, this was wonderful. And I tell you what, you ever want to have me on again, we can talk about whatever you want. So
I
feel like I'm just talking all Pacesetter all the time because
no. I mean, that's why, I definitely want to, part of the DM and Friends is about is getting on people that have products that I love, that I just want to hear you talk about it. What's driving you, what you guys have coming out new. And, there's, so I appreciate you. Talking about, Pacesetter and what you guys are doing, what you've done. And, so that's super, super awesome. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you.
And after the show, I have a couple. I was going to say after the show, I have a couple other. We'll talk after the show, but
that's fine. Thank Angelo. Thank you so much because he's been talking about our stuff all through the thing.
He said B2 Borderland. Yeah, and I think you mentioned that earlier, right? That's the
we don't, and this is going to sound like all we do is do TSR stuff. We don't. It's 20% of our product line, but it's just put people to talk about.
Legacy of the Green Flame, he says too. Let me see.
That's a big solo book. Yeah. So this is like one of our newest books. It's a hardcover book. It's called try and get up there so you can see it well. Borderland Legendarium. And this is
beautiful cover too, man. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that back in the back there.
Dmitry Yevkovsky is he does most of our covers. He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that is a compilation. It's basically a campaign kind of adventure area for around Keep of the Borderlands. So it's got 5 or 6 adventures in there, all based in and around Keep of the Borderlands, the Keep. So, yeah, it was a very well received book, and don't have a lot of them left because they're numbered. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
But yeah.
And somebody said Into the Unknown was awesome. Also, Legacy of the Green Flame.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? I mean, real quick, and I want to ask you, how many different adventures do you think that you have written? Because
I counted a while back. It was probably a couple of years
ago. I would love to
see
like an official count one of these days.
I'll send you the spread. I have a spreadsheet that has almost everything.
Do you really?
We are somewhere we're north of 110, 120 at this point of produced individual books. So most of their adventure mounts. We have 3 or 4 box sets, which have lots of stuff in, like multiple adventures in them. But we're somewhere in the 120. We're north. I know we're north of that number at this point, and I'm not including like if we did something for Swords and Wizardry, BX, and 5e. I'm counting that as one book just because we did different rule sets. But yeah, we do quite a bit, and again, a lot of it's out of print at this point. We're like, I am completely humbled by the community out there. I mean, there's a huge, I don't know, say huge, probably the word, but there's a very large like Pacesetter collector group out there. Like, you see one of our older modules at like a first printing from something from 2009, 2010 will pop up on an auction site and sell for $300 or $400, $500. It's really
you're talking about like RPG auctions or something.
Yeah,
like that. I've seen it.
It's
nuts.
You're like this. I know. It's incredibly humbling. I'm honored. And there's honestly, we're pretty good about having everything in our archives. We do not have everything, and every once in a while something will pop up, right? And I'm like, oh man, I don't think we even have one of those. It'll sell for like $190 or $220, something like that. And you're like,
you got to complete. Hey, you're a collector. You got to complete your collection, dude.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm not saying all of our stuff does that, but there's some of our more rare, unique things. Yeah, for sure. Or definitely the first couple of years that we were pre-modules, we were running our numbers were like 100 or 200 copies of something, and which makes them extremely scarce. almost 20 years later. So again, it's humbling, and we're honored to see that, and it's fun. It's fun to see for sure.
Yeah.
And then of course, then people will email me, hey, do you have one of these? I'm like, we have 2. They're in our archive, and they ain't going anywhere. So I wish I did.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow. Well.
Anyway, I'm burned up enough of your time tonight. So.
Well, this has been really cool, man. I appreciate it, and I look forward, dude. I look forward to seeing you. God, I can't believe it's already like literally a month. We're under a month. We got 15 days because I'm driving. I'm driving from here to there, so it's a 2-day drive for me because I'm bringing all my Boot Hill stuff back here. So a nightmare to.
How many hours is the drive? What is the total hours?
Yeah, it's going to be 23 hours. So I'm driving from here to, I think I'm staying in Colorado Springs. First night, so it's a pretty nice long drive, and then then Colorado Springs to Dallas, and I'll get there I think Tuesday, and I'm gonna stay with my aunt and uncle and my cousins out there for a day. Check out my cousin just got on the fire department out there, so we're gonna check out their fire station, and we're gonna go shooting, do some fishing, and do some stuff out there, and then Wednesday check in, man, and then we're in it, dude.
We used to when I was in Michigan, we used to mostly. I think we only drove once, maybe twice to Texas. We always flew, but so we would have to drop ship a lot of our stuff down there for Pacesetter. But they were always like I said, the North Texas guys, Gary and And Doug started doing this. He would like give us like at his warehouse. He'd be like, "Oh, store a bunch of your stuff here for next year," and he was super great about all of that. But now the last 4 or 5 years, especially since I've been in Florida the last 3 years, I just drive every year. It's just too much stuff.
How far of a drive is it from Florida? I mean, you're going through 1, 2, 3 states, right?
Florida's like 7 all by itself. It's the GPS will tell you it's like 16 hours, but it's about 18 really.
Because you're going through some pretty populated areas too. So
we kind of bypassed most of it. I mean, Florida, just to get to the Alabama border is about 9 to 10 hours from here.
Yeah,
I know that's weird to think, but it's so much further than you think. It's a whole lot of nothing, and then you kind of cut up through Alabama and up through Louisiana and then across Texas.
Okay, so you don't go down. You kind of go up and over then.
Go up and over, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you might be hugging the coast when you came.
You do a little bit, but not too much. Kind of go through the central part of all these states.
Got it.
But yeah, it's not a horrible drive. But yeah, I'll leave Tuesday morning. I'll get up at like 4 in Tuesday.
Okay.
And just
Okay.
hop in the car and I'll drive the whole thing. So, but I'll get there. I don't know. I think it's about 9 o'clock at night Texas time because I gained an hour or whatever. So, but yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But it lets me bring lots of stuff, which is awesome. So.
Yeah, for me, because I'm bringing assembled buildings that most of them are MDF. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That would be like last year. I broke everything down and packed it in a suitcase. Got it through, flew, and then I'm like reassembling when you get there and all that. And then you can only do that so much with MDF.
Yeah.
And then I also now kind of started getting printed buildings. So they're how would you pack that? So I wonder. Yeah, maybe I do talk to Gary and see if I could drop ship stuff.
Well, you can absolutely you can do that for sure.
Yeah, I should ask him, and I just wonder how.
I'll speak for Gary right now. Yes, you can do that.
Yeah, so. I think I just wonder if it would make the trip. You know what I mean? Because look at, I don't know. You look at a building like this, right? Like what you'd have to really kind of bulletproof it
for sure.
Because I don't know. I guess you could do it if you packed it correctly. So that might be a good idea. But I don't know. I don't mind driving. I do kind of a lot of driving.
Yeah, like I said, we've used to fly quite a bit, but man, we would have 2 giant suitcases and we'd drop ship down and have a carry-on. I mean, we had so much shit. And it's just hard, but with Pacesetter, we bring a pretty big setup down there. So, all our big banners and display things. I'll bring a glass display case now too to put stuff. Yeah, we try to do it up right. I mean, it's our home convention, man. We gotta make it look good for ourselves. So,
God, I should have actually downloaded and played some of the pictures of your. Next time we will.
Sure.
When we took pictures of your setup at Page, you had a really amazing little kind of. I think I used the word end cap. If anybody knows what an end cap at a grocery store, that's basically what you were. You took the whole. That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff. We like to kind of keep spread out. So
yeah. Wow. Well, anyway, dude, I feel like we could talk forever. It's been good, and
it's been great.
I'd love to have you back in this kind of format or a couple other that I'll propose to you. At some point after the show.
Absolutely.
But thanks, dude, so much for coming on, and I do want to give a shout out to everybody else that's. I know we're kind of getting late, and people are kind of. Dropping off, but thank you guys for being here tonight and being a part of the DM and Friends community. Our community, is all of us here. Love it, and this has been a lot of fun. And be sure to go to Pacesetter Games and check out all the cool stuff over there, and come up and say hi to him. and me
that,
and more Texas.
That more than anything. Come say hello. Or reach out to us. We love talking to everyone at gaming. I really appreciate you having me on and being able to see. You're great. Your community is amazing.
You had a lot of fans on here for sure. So
it's like I said, I'm humbled and I'm honored by it. Honestly, it's my privilege to be here. So, and I love, like I said, I look forward to coming back on at some point, and I won't be a scattershot with stuff. I'll try to keep it to like one Pacesetter thing coming out. Right now,
we are hard with all the stuff you have.
We are kind of all over the place right now. We got so many different little things doing this and that, but the second half of the year, it's all like it's big project after big project after big project.
Well, when you guys do that, when you guys do that Kickstarter you're talking about coming up, I'd love to have you on, talk about it.
The Vampire Queen, one of the Holmes
on that. And we'll put the word out as much as possible. I mean,
the sequence is going to be, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be Holmes. Well, we actually didn't even talk about this. We're doing Pick a Path adventure books, the novels. So we're doing a small Kickstarter for those coming up next week, and then but we'll see how that goes. And then we're doing the Holmes campaign of Peril, which is going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I don't know how big of a Kickstarter will be, but it's going to be a huge project. There's a lot of material. And then Palace of the Vampire Queen again, which is going to be, oh my God, just massive. And then a lot of material. And then Dungeon X at the end of the year, which is our version of how we fix Dungeons and Dragons, basically. So I know that's very it's a big statement, but basically we decided a couple of years ago that we're not doing a clone, we're not doing something adjacent. We are fixing modern Dungeons and Dragons. It's not 5e, don't get me wrong. It's some modern mechanics, but we've used ideas and we've taken the best out of every version of Dungeons and Dragons, going back to the original D&D through BX through AD&D, and we've coalesced all of that, and I think we've built an amazing game. If you play any of our stuff in North Texas, we'll be using Dungeon X there. So we've done it for the last 2 years, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's at the end of the year. So we've decided that I know it's a kind of a, maybe it sound like an egotistic statement, but I think we've done a great job, and we've come up with some really innovative things for D&D, and I think people are going to like it.
Man, I can't wait. I think that's going to be super cool.
Well, it may or may not be. We'll find out.
We'll see, right? Yeah. Yimsian came in late, but enjoy what I heard. Just ordered some stuff. Nice, dude.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll make sure, by the way, everyone who ordered on this, tonight, or who listens in the next couple of days, anything that comes through, you're going to get some bonus material sent over too. So,
dude, that's super cool.
We appreciate everyone who supports us, and we'll get you some bonus material for everyone out there. Thank you so much.
Dude, that's super cool. Super cool. Shellback View says # yet another D20 system ?
No, it's not. It's not a D20 system. And in a nutshell, there's no skills. There's no. It's kind of like it's ascending armor class D&D essentially, but there's no skills. There's no feats. Experience points are a commodity, so it's a very big change for D&D. You have to spend them.
I know where you're going with that. That's
you have to spend them to advanced level, and you can actually, all the character classes have their own what's called mastery charts, and you can spend experience points to buy powers for your character, by the way, and they're exclusive to your character class. So this isn't about some fighter deciding he wants to be able to pick pockets. No, there's none of that crap. So experience points are a commodity. We've turned undead incredibly scary again. They have their energy drain ability. Basically, is we have I'm going to get too long here. We think your characters have a characteristic now called dread points. So it's like hit points. You don't have nearly as many. They're in the single digits typically. If you get hit by an undead, they drain a certain number of dread points. If you get to 0, your character basically turns into some sort of undead. He's dead. He's gone. So it's energy drain, but without all the bullshit experience point manipulation and level draining and all that. I love level draining playing 1A D&D. I think the terror that it puts into a player.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Right, but it's punishing, and it's the whole game stops because they have to adjust their character sheet. So we decided, okay, what can we do to make undead scary as hell? By the way, you don't heal these, and you can't rest and get them back. Once they start going away, they're just going away. So it's kind of like it scares the shit out of the players when they start losing them.
Yeah.
So anyway, we've got mechanics like that. So that's in a nutshell. Again, no skills, no feats, none of that kind of stuff. But just smooth, clean, fast D&D. We've been essentially using this for the last 2 years at the tournament, and all our play tests and all these conventions we go to, and people honestly have absolutely embraced it. So,
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, a lot of character classes, that kind of thing. There's no ancestries. There's none of that. There's
no backstories. No
there's races. Orcs are not a player, not a freaking player class. There's none of that crazy stuff. All right. It's just, no, sorry. We're not doing it. And if that's your game style, then make a game called 5e, play it. It's a great game. 5th edition D&D is a fantastic game. It's just not my choice of game.
Yeah. I like a couple things about it, but I especially don't like what was done with it when
it's
most
2004. Yeah, 2014, 15, 16 D&D is very, very different from 2025, 2016.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the whole aesthetic changed. Everything changed, and that we can talk about that for 2 hours some other time.
Hey, maybe we'll do that.
Because I have a lot of comments on all that.
Yeah, I know you do. I do too. I haven't really even started going down that route here.
I skimmed the surface of what I could talk about.
The real quick, I do agree with you on the energy drain. I think it adds. It's kind of the difference. I mean, it's terrible in old school.
Yes.
It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, but it also puts that, and I talk a lot about this here, is adding pressure and tension to your game. And that is a very big element for pressure, because we were known for that in terror in old school gaming, because that's
right.
We were squishy, and we had to be cautious. We had to use our 10-foot pole to poke the corner. We didn't just get a perception roll when we came in the room and learned everything.
There's none of that, by the way.
I will tell you this. The other day, 2 weeks ago, in my home, my game, the monk, and I play with the players as a DM, and play with them, meaning that I just give them a situation and you guys react to it, and I'm just as surprised how things turn out in that situation. And so I put these creatures, and a lot of times I make up different creatures because everybody knows what's in the monster manual. Everybody knows what's in the theme folio. So I created these creatures, and I knew what they were. And the monk decides, and he's an Oriental Adventures monk. Yes, I allow that in my game. And he's got martial arts, and he's got this flying kick that does this incredible damage, and he's crazy. And so he thought he was going to go in there, and I knew right out the gate they can't be hurt by non-magical weapons, so the kick's not going to work.
Right.
And they only have a 9 armor class. He dives into this group of them, boom, hits them, thinks he hits them, lands in the middle of them, and there's literally they're equivalent to a 2-hit die white.
Yeah.
Okay, with a 9 armor class or a constructed kind of undead, part of the negative plane.
Yeah.
And so I know, oh my God, he's going to get hit by these 5 creatures. Yeah. 4 out of 5 hit him. He lost 4 levels in one. Yeah. So one thing that I'm saying, and he's an old school player, and I don't know what got him into that, because everybody else said, I said, what do you guys do? And he said, we hold our action to just kind of see what this is, which is the smart thing to do, the cleric didn't think about turning him because he thought, I don't think these are undead, because they didn't appear to be.
Right.
And so he dropped. Yeah. So as soon as that happened, the whole room just got silent.
That's right.
Shit. But yeah, that is it's so terrible. It's a terrible. I dropped 2 when he did that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, undead need to be terrifying and
totally
scary and all, because you're right. What it brings to the table is kind of what the whole point of Dungeon X is. We're like, our philosophy is kind of like D&D took a fork in the road at one point where it was all about the adventure and the players sitting at the table playing the game and going through the adventure, and doing that. And the fork of the road is D&D decided it went more into, leaned way heavily into the player character, became the focal point of the game, and everything else takes kind of a side seat to it.
Yeah.
We're of the adventure part, obviously. I mean, we're a design company anyway. That's what we do. So, but we want those player characters to be challenged. We want the players to be challenged as much as their characters. And I think, again, by undead being very scary and powerful, that naturally occurs at the table. Like you said, what just happened in your group. Nothing, it just makes us, and again, we wanted to get away from the level draining thing. We said, how can we do this without maybe punishing to the player, but still make it terrifying. But still make it terrifying and impactful. Yeah. Because when you start seeing, it's like, when your hit points start dropping, it's always scary. But believe me, when you only have like 6 or 7 dread points, and all of a sudden you're down to 1 or 2, and the next time you get hit by that undead, you're getting turned into a wraith, and you're done. It's terrifying. And by the way, you aren't getting those back by sleeping overnight. It's not how any of that works. So again, it's just a kind of one of the other mechanics we've added into the game. So anyway, long story short, we love scaring the hell out of players.
Yeah, super cool. I mean, I think that's a lost. It's lost to a lot of modern games. Yeah. And there's a couple out there that kind of simulate terror and making it, because when you add that element, your players start thinking a little more.
Absolutely,
being a little bit more cautious about what they do. Not that they're terrified to where they don't move, but it's more of like, okay, we got to think about what we do instead of just kicking the door open, killing the goblins, and grabbing the treasure. You know what I mean? Like, that gets monotonous and tedious, and
for sure.
Yeah, some people like it. I don't know. I don't like being part of that 100% all the time.
Not all the time, right? Yeah. Some hack and slash is good. 24/7.
It really is. Well, okay, we'll try this again. Thanks so much, dude. And you guys, everybody, thank you. This is it's such a pleasure to Thursday night to get on here and talk and hang out. And we'll do this again. You guys, for reals, we're gonna head out. Bill, you want to say anything? Final words?
Again, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure reading everyone's comments, and people are very kind. And again, if you see me at a game convention, absolutely come up and say hello. I'll talk as much as you want to talk, or talk as little as you want to, or sit down and have a cup of coffee, whatever. I enjoy it. That's what this is all about for me. So the rest of it's all great, but in my heart, I'm a gamer and I love gaming. So
love it. Yeah, Bill, I was gonna those of you guys that are in the chat and watching now or later, he did say earlier that if you got something from the site, he would throw some extra stuff in there for you. So as a token of appreciation, not that he's bribing. No. Appreciation for sure, because obviously we all
especially a new community and all that. I'll just watch the website next 3, 4, 5 days, whatever. Doesn't have to be tonight, whatever. You get to. I'm gonna send you some nice free bonus Pacesetter content. Have some fun with it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You got a lot of people that know about Pacesetter here. So
we have free stuff on our website too. You can download samples.
Oh yeah.
Ben does a nice job with that. So. Anyway.
All right. You guys. Well, till next time. Thank you again, Bill, for coming on. Love you guys so much. That all of our community out there, you guys know, because I say it all the time. Love you guys, and take care. Be kind to each other. God bless, and keep those dice rolling. And game on.